That's fine. You don't need to eat.
Yeah, you don't need to eat. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the upcoming brand new Thursday night campaign that will be officially starting on the 31st with episode 1, but this is episode 0. And in this particular episode 0, it is going to be myself and Wade as the players and Scott as the DM. If you don't know what Pathfinder is, if you ever played Dungeons & Dragons like 3.5, it's basically a more improved version of 3.5, and I'd be more surprised if you knew what Dark Sun was. I would Google it. It was a very popular setting in the 80s going into the mid 90s before Faerun really kind of dominated and Dark Sun was kind of left behind. But yeah, Dark Sun is kind of this world where it's basically D&D post-apocalypse, where instead of nuclear weapons ruining the world, magic ruined the world. And that's kind of all you need to know. Scott will learn more as Scott DMs and talks more about the more in-depth mechanics of the world. So I'm just gonna hand it off to you, Scott. If there's anything you want to talk about before we just dive in, it's up to you.
All right, so just really quickly for the production side, because obviously part of these prequels is fixing everything so it's smooth for the actual show. Mike, just the roll area. Make sure it's set so it's at the bottom, because right now I'm seeing somewhere in the middle of what I just rolled.
You are correct.
Thank you, sir. Okay, cool. So Dark Sun, the short version that I'm going to give, because you're going to get this more feeling as opposed to explanation. Dark Sun is a dark and foreboding setting that you're on a planet by the name of Mathas at the tail end of that planet's life. The planet has been racked to hell and back again through various types of magic. Detail is not important at the moment, and it is now very similar to a Dune-like setting. It's a vast desert, at least where the characters are starting their campaign. Specifically, you guys are going to be starting in the city-state of Ram. Now, we're going to open up with you first, Wade. So,
right. Just for the record, my character is a very smashy guy, and so in honor of that, I'm wearing my favorite smashy guy T-shirt. Not sponsored, but I could be.
Could be if you're watching. All
Everyone
right.
loves Negan, right?
Everybody, I have no idea who that is.
What's your name, Scott?
Bob?
No, it's Negan.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I don't know who Negan is.
It's all right. You don't need to know. The show got really bad really quick.
Yeah.
Wow, come on, man. Negan brought it back.
Okay, we need to start the game, but what's Negan from?
Walking Dead.
Oh, who cares about that show? Once they ate the guy's leg that was tied up to a pole, I was like, this is so dumb. So
Once they were on the
stopped.
farm in season 2, I was like, oh, I'm so bored.
I was fine with the farm because that was like character development time. Like we
Yes.
have slow moving campaigns. Sometimes you're doing character development, then they jump right back in season 3. But anyways,
It did mean we got John Bernthal as Punisher later, though, which I thought was great.
That was a great comeback for him.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so the campaign opens up with you, Mortifer. The campaign opens up with you standing in darkness. You're standing there. Even though the air around you is kind of cool because of all the stone that's around you, you can still smell the heat in the air permeating through the stone that's in front of you. You can smell this musty smell. The must doesn't come from moisture rising in the air as the sun beats down, but instead that of old coagulated blood. You can actually smell that blood as well. Some of it fresh, some of it rotten. Occasionally you hear a cough or a sneeze or a small rattling of chains nearby. Sure, if you looked in the direction, you'd be able to see them, but you don't care to. Right now you're focused. You have a plan, and you know with this task in front of you, you need to have your full focus. Every time this comes to pass, it's not easy. Every time they try to kill you. And so you're standing there waiting. A few minutes pass with you gaining that focus, with you really bringing the your center to yourself. When finally the stone doors in front of you start to push forward. As they push forward, it opens up to a beam of light that's cast down, completely lights up the room around you. You don't look. You just look ahead and you see that beam of light. You wait the appropriate amount of time and then slowly start your walk forward. As soon as your first foot steps into that sunlight, you can immediately feel your skin start to roast in the sun. Oh, they always have these games just after midday. It's always so hot It beats down on you and it exhausts you so quickly, but you're used to it. You focus yourself to become accustomed to it. You step out into the sunlight full-fledged, it beating down in your eyes taking a couple moments to step out of seeing things in that black and white and instead in the full-fledged of color. It takes a few moments for you to really gain the perspective of what you see. And then what you do see is the arena before you, once again, as it has been for countless sunrises before, and who knows how many sunrises moving forward. As you step out into that light, as your eyes start to focus so you can see the stadium around you, the stadium also is able to see you, and they're excited. You've been able to build a reputation in the years that have passed. Slow at first, but very quickly it builds. Mortifer, 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 Mortifer. As the crowd just really builds their momentum, builds their cheer for you. You go walking out there and you do your typical run around, your routine. You're excited to get them on their feet. Can you actually do me a favor, Wade? Can you roll me a performance, or sorry, not a performance, a profession gladiator check, please?
You got it. First actual D20 roll. Here we go.
1.
Oh,
Oh,
That's a beautiful roll.
you're making your rounds and you are just playing to the crowd in every way. You know the significance of having the crowd on your side. Being surrounded by that many people, there is a palpable, there is a literal force that hits you when people are booing you, when people are wanting you to die. It weighs you down, it strips away your morale. But when they're cheering you on, the vigor that they give you, oh, you know how that has saved you before. And so you play to the crowd. The last battle you fought, oh, it was not an easy one. The people that run this place, they were hoping to kill you. They know what plan you are. They know what plan you're on. You're on the 500 for 1 fight. The ability the ability to kill 500 people to save yourself. It took you years to earn the right to be on the 500 for 1, and you're 287 in. You know that you are more than halfway to actually earning your freedom. So you start making your rounds through the stadium. You've heard about other stadiums before, but never seen them before. This stadium, however, has a huge crack in it, a huge fissure naturally in the earth. Rumors say it goes over 200 feet down, but you've never seen the bottom. You've never even fallen in. Last time you fought, though, that spider that they sent at you, that thing came crawling at you. It was biting at you, but you just lied down on your back and thrust it up with all of your might and sent the thing reeling off and down the cliff. And as it tried to come back up, you hurled your hammer right down at it and splat the thing down below. It never rose again. Everybody loved it. That crush, that crunching sound. Mortifer, Mortifer. So as you get your place, as you're feeling emboldened by the crowd, loving that performance check, you look around to see what it is that's going to come from the other side. The other gates open up, and what you see before you is a large creature, one that you've seen before, that lives wildly in the plains around here. It's a large avian creature. It's a large bird-like creature. It's not very smart, but they can be ferocious. They can pick up a full-sized man and carry them off if need be. These aren't scary creatures. This makes you concerned at first because you're like, how am I supposed to fight flying? How are they supposed to contain this thing? What are they going to do? Make me a quick perception check to kind of like see what's going on with that thing.
all right. Not the most perceptive being in the world, but Mortifer is prepared. Kind of.
Okay. So it's not a huge check. So with a quick look over to the creature that you see in front of you, you notice that there is a shackle on one of it, just above one of its talons, a shackle made out of a strange crystal, similar to the one that you actually wear as a collar around your neck. You imagine that shackle has some sort of psionic energy linked to it, pulling this bird down so it can't travel too far from the stadium, so it can't actually bring harm to those in the crowd. Let's talk about that crowd for a second. The stadium is set up in a very interesting way. As I said, the games always happen shortly after high noon. High noon would have the sun beating straight down. That would be very uncomfortable for everybody in the stadiums. So they have the seats that you pay for, the seats that you stay for. Okay, the seats that you pay for are seats that happen to have the sun on the other side of the hill that's immediately behind them. They're in the shade, and they're able to watch the fights and everything happen in the comfort of the shade. Sure, the heat is beating down on them, but most of them are drinking enough alcohol to keep them hydrated, so they're okay during the gladiatorial match. The seats that you stay for are free, but the sun is in their eyes and it beats on them full-fledged. Usually there's a few bodies to mop up after everything's done because people were too stupid and stayed too long, or the crowd crushed them, or whatever the case may be. Most of them are, untouchables anyways, so who really cares? And then there's the seats that you can't see, the ones where you know she's watching. The sorcerer queen herself and her closest of royal guard, her inquisitors, are watching, able to see you. You can never see where she is, though. You see this creature as it makes its way out, it immediately takes to the skies and starts flying around, testing the limits of where it can go. It can get a decent height, and that's a little intimidating because how do you fight a creature that's up in the air? Anyways, you get to where it is that you're usually supposed to go, wherever it is that you're supposed to fight. The creature doesn't know what's the appropriate match setting, and so it does immediately try to dive at somebody, and it has like a sonic shock that hurts the thing and kind of brings it back. After all the appropriate settings happen and the match starts, could you do me a favor, Wade? Could you actually roll me an initiative check?
Sure. Where in the world is that on this sheet?
Make sure you highlight your token first on the battle map, and then make sure that you top center of your sheet. So sorry.
All right. I think I just do that.
There it is.
I think I did that right, hopefully.
You did. Thank you very much, sir. Give me 1 second.
Everyone out there better be cheering.
Mortifer!
Mortifer! Need it.
You know what I just realized, Mike? This is again why we do these things.
Yes.
I never ported over any of my macros from the other games.
Lesson learned.
Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be a +2. Awesome. So 16. So actually, acts after you.
Okay, I don't see it on the turn order, but I see it. Oh, now I do. Never mind.
Yep. So the creature, the rackle that you see before you, the rakel that you see before you, flying about overhead. So it is flying about 20 feet away from you and about 40 feet overhead from where you are. So well out of your reach. Now, one of the things I want you to know is that collar that you wear, you know that when you first step out onto the battlefield, that collar completely limits your ability to use any psionic abilities whatsoever. You cannot use any psionic powers. Eventually, you will see, and it's never the same for how long, eventually you will see the glow on it dim, and you'll feel the power surge back to your mind, and you'll know you have it. But as of this moment, you do not have your psionic powers. All you have is your weapon at hand.
All right. Can I wait for this thing to maybe dive bomb or attack me and then try swinging at it?
Absolutely. So it's an ability called holding your turn, or prepared action, my apologies. So it's more or less when the creature gets within range that you can hit it, you're going to swing at the thing. Yeah. So you're going to do that for your turn. The creature is in fact going to dive bomb at you almost immediately afterwards and try to attack you. Because you prepared an action, technically you get to take your turn before it takes it. So it's flying down at you. Now, I want to remind you that you have the crowd on your side because of that amazing roll you did. So whenever you make your attack roll, you're actually going to get an additional +2 to the modifier to that, which is awesome. You have a couple of abilities to your character. We discussed this before over under additional and under your feats. You have power attack and you have reckless offense. Do you care to use either of those?
Let me double check reckless offense. I was going to do a power attack, but let me see.
It's a bonus to your chance to hit, but a minus to your armor class, making it easier to hit you.
Does that last just one turn, or does that last until the beginning of my next turn? Yeah, I'll go ahead. I want to hit this thing hard, so I'm going to reckless offense and power attack.
Awesome. So you're getting the total of a +3 chance to hit, but your damage is going to increase by 3 more. Make your attack roll, sir.
All right, so we're power attacking here. Mortifer, kill little bird.
91.
Or the other way.
Mortifer is going to sit this one out.
You rolled. Why is there so I'm just trying to check things really quickly. There's an additional -1 in there. I'm just trying to see where this comes from. It's unfortunately Pathfinder. So we looked at this at 4 and everything worked out fine. So +6 So
I'm the right size right now. I'm not sure where the -1's coming in. Oh, power attack. That's where the -1 is.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're actually so Mortimer makes a swing as the bird dive bombs at you, comes flying at you. You make a mighty swing at the thing, but it actually moved far quicker than you thought it could. Another fun fact: the thing's speed is actually 70, and you double your speed when you're moving downwards. So it came at you at extreme speeds.
Oh, okay.
As it flew down at you, it's going to make its attack rolls against you.
Sure.
It's going to make 2 claw attacks against you.
I lowered my AC. Does that take that into account?
Did you? You don't have to do that because I'm just going to know it's lower.
Okay, yeah.
It'll make it easier on your side.
Class with reckless offense.
So you don't have to apply that. I'll just keep that in mind, and we're good to go. Perfect. So let's make the first attack roll. And so that's definitely going to hit. And second attack roll, that is going to be a miss. Damage for that first attack. I'm so upset that I didn't port that over. Oh, wow, max. So as the bird comes swooping down with both of its talons out doing its dive bomb attack, and you make your swing and you miss, the bird is actually going to grab your arm as your shoulder slumps forward and dig deep into you with its claw. Luckily for you, you already luckily for you, you always have some level of psionic energy that you put up to protect yourself. You do this before you even enter the stadium because you're no fool. And so half of the attack is actually impeded by the psionic energy that you put there. And then of the remaining 5, 2 more of those are impeded even more by the thin psionic barrier that you always have around your flesh. So it actually, you take only 3 points of damage from this attack.
All right.
It ends its dive bomb with a swoop back up and out of your way. And that does not provoke an attack of opportunity from you. It's your turn again, Mortimer.
All right. Is it still within range for me to strike?
It swooped back up and out of your range again.
It's a lot of movement. Okay.
140.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna prepare for it to attack, and I'm gonna swing again.
Okay. So it's going to do the same thing this time around. We're just gonna swoop and dive bomb at you. You can make your attack before it does its.
Okay. I'm not going to use reckless offense this time. I'm just going to power attack it.
Sure. So it's just a -1.
All right. Die, birdie.
Unfortunately, a 13 I don't think hits. It does not.
Birdie's tough to hit.
Yeah. So the thing swoops down at you again, and you try to swing at the thing with your hammer again, and unfortunately you miss again. So it's going to make
deal
its
with
attack
a
against
full
you.
armor class on me this time too. So good luck, birdie.
But despite the fact that it you were not able to hit it, it's because you had your defenses too high up. Your swing with the hammer made it pull its talons up and kind of like pull back before it actually was able to make the full-fledged attack. It did not attack you. You can see the bird actually is going to now do a bigger swoop around before dive bombing in. It seems to be approaching you from a different angle. The collar is still lit. You still don't have your power in front of you.
All right. I mean, there's not much I don't think I can do right now other than just keep trying to prepare and swing.
Correct.
So I'm just going to do the same.
Okay. So it now does swoop at you from a different angle as you prepare to swing. The thing is actually going to pull up short before it hits you. And instead of getting within range so you can actually swing it, again, it skims just outside of your range, but opens its beak and surprises you with a blast of acid as it just eeps this thing at you. Just throwing loads of acid at you. Could you make me a reflex saving throw, sir?
Yeah. How do I do that?
Actually, front page, right underneath where your attributes are, REF, click it.
Oh, that's the worst one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
But you make your reflex saving throw, meaning that you're going to take half damage from this.
I'll take it.
So you're going to take 6 points of damage as it just blows this line of acid at you, and you're going to be jumping out of the way, allowing it to singe and burn into your armor and hurt you somewhat. But again, Mortimer is no fool. You take the 6 damage. You can apply that to your character as it is right now, and that's where it stands. Don't forget, you do have a javelin.
I know that. It's just not a very...
Yeah, you do more damage with... Yep.
Yeah.
So as soon as the bird flies away, more or less you having wasted your turn because you couldn't attack it, all of a sudden, ding, you see the collar, the glow of the collar, it completely fades away, and you feel all of the power come back to your mind.
All right. Well, this thing keeps avoiding me because it can go high and all around. So I think it's time for Mortimer to expand to be able to hit this thing from a much further distance.
Okay. So Mortifer is going to like bloop, bloop, bloop. He's going to grow. Actually, I'll let you describe it, please.
So as the collar...
Do me a favor. Describe what Mortifer looks like normally, and then describe his expansion, because we haven't had a description of him yet.
That's fair. So Mortifer stands, he's a half giant. He stands at 11 foot 7 inches, weighs 1,500 pounds, 1,590 pounds, almost 1,600 pounds. He's a big guy. Normally with a long beard and long hair, gladiator combat has been punishing to him, and to avoid things grabbing at his beard, he cut it himself with whatever sharp objects he could find after battles to trim his beard. His hair, however, he would have preferred to leave in a ponytail, but either, throughout time, enemies or people that run the arena have tried to dehumanize him by cutting his hair. So he has short hair, shortened beard. I mean, the beard's probably about like mine is, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit bushier. Brown hair. He's scarred, very tan from his time out in the sun, cooking in the sun during gladiator battles over the last several years. And generally very pissed off. He's not the smartest guy in the world, but his physique is incredible. I mean, whenever you see him, you know that even for a giant or half giant, he's incredibly strong. And as far as what's happening now, as soon as he feels the power of his psionic abilities flowing through him again, he immediately focuses and almost doubles in size to about 23, 24 feet tall, and close to like 12, 13,000 pounds. So he's a much bigger dude now. The embodiment,
awesome.
Not the embodiment of me. I don't know if I'm that big. Thank you, though. Appreciate the comment.
Yeah. Wade, the pinnacle of physique. So Wade's an Adonis.
Mortifer.
Mm-hmm.
So Mortifer is going to get real big and crush little birdie.
Awesome.
What size is this? What size is the bird creature?
It is
like how big is it? Like 5 feet tall?
It's actually large sized. So it went from
okay.
being about the same size as you to being about the size, like I say, it could pick up and carry a man away, to being much smaller than you now that you've grown. And just a bit of better description on it, because I apologize, I actually didn't describe this. The bird actually has a brilliant orange and red plumage. So it's actually like very, very, very bright bird.
Almost phoenix-like in color, right?
Correct. So you invest your power. So that's actually going to be your turn, is to do that. Your turn is going to be to grow in size. So yay for that one. And the bird is now going to swoop back around, and it's actually going to spend, because of the way that it swooped, kind of threw it off. It actually spends about 2 or 3 turns swooping around overhead for a little bit, and more or less you just kind of down there waiting your turn out. Do you do anything in the meanwhile where you see it kind of like swooping overhead?
If it's staying out of my range entirely, I'm going to try throwing a javelin. I want to pierce this thing and show it that I'm not going to wait around for it to spit acid on me again.
Awesome. So more or less, while it's kind of like killing time and reassessing up there as an animal, you are or like trying to find a way to run away. You're just gonna like hurl one.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm just gonna throw a javelin and try to pierce its heart.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't increase that. So a D8, I believe, becomes a D10. Just give me 1 second. That's 1D10. Because everything we had to put for him a second damage, because it's bigger, and then piercing, and you are set to go, sir. Perfect.
All right, so
make your attack roll.
Mortifer's done with little birdie. Birdie dies now.
Ah!
Die now.
A natty 1. So as you reel back and you hurl this javelin as far as you can, it flies up and into the air and sails way past where the bird was. It continues flying, arcs, comes back down, and completely impales somebody in one of the stadiums. As a matter of fact, it impales somebody in one of the paid-for seats. So because of the fact that you're huge-sized, you're not large, you're huge-sized, you're 20-something feet tall, this is a javelin sized for you. This is like a ballista bolt being fired, and it goes right into the guy's chest, like Wash from Firefly, right? Like, he's stuck there like, in the stands, just blood dripping off of him. The people immediately around him scream in fear and run. People that are on the free seats on the other side cheer with excitement because of what just happened. Like, it's just amazing.
I'll take it. Increasing morale in 1/2, it balances out.
The bird sees that there's no way to get away and starts immediately swooping back down and come at you. Obviously, you have time to prepare an action again for when it does so.
Is there another? Do I have another javelin? Is there another thing laying around I can throw?
I would say that you probably carry 2 javelins with you, but
Okay.
it's going to make its attack immediately now. So.
Oh, in that case, I'll prepare and I'll use my maul again.
Okay. So you are preparing your action. So because of the fact that your reach is so much longer than its now, you're actually going to be able to swing and hit the thing before it even comes into reach of you. Make for me a maul attack. You power attacking, you reckless offensing.
I'm gonna reckless offense and power attack again.
Okay.
So that will give me a +2 bonus on attack because I apparently need it with all these low rolls. I told you as soon as I rolled like 3 nat 20s the other day, I was screwed today.
So the sway of the crowd is now starting to fade a little bit because you killed that person. You only get a +1 from them.
This hit. They're gonna be right back on my side.
So you only get a total of a +2 with everything factored in. Go right ahead, sir.
All right. Mortifer, kill Birdie!
All right, and actually a 14 is not your raw number. It's gonna be a little bit higher than that. It's gonna be a 17. It hits. Sorry, 16. It hits. And your damage, 23 points of damage. That's devastating. So the thing is swooping in at you, and you heave your big mighty blow, hit it with the hammer. What did I say? 23 points of damage. This thing is fucked up from the attack. It doesn't actually kill it, but it completely throws its flight off balance. It's going to make an attack against you as it continues to swoop through, but God, it's doing it much more with much less strength in the attack.
Birdie can try to hurt Mortifer. Many do.
And that's rolling very slowly. Both attacks miss again as it swings by him.
Mortifer's having fun again.
Awesome. Now the fun. It flew by attack because it did a flyby attack and it missed you. Technically speaking, it does not. You still provoke attack of opportunity. It still provokes attack of opportunities from you. So as it swoops by, you actually can reel around and swing at it one more time.
Oh, Mortifer's happy to crush Birdie again. Can I still do reckless attack or
that has to be? It's
cool.
Locked on you, just like power attack is locked on you for the rest of the round.
Mortifer is pleased by this. All right, bye, Birdie.
That's a hit and 25 points of damage. Holy shit, that's a total of 48 damage. So as the thing swooped in, it was 15 feet away when you crushed it with the hammer on the way in. It kind of like flopped and sailed past you, going through the whole area, passing by like another 30 feet, 15 feet out the other side. You made another attack and were able to hit it again. Describe to me the blow and the kill.
So Mortifer's pissed. Like he came out here, the crowd was cheering. He wanted to just one-shot this thing and go home. But the thing actually got a couple hits on it. So whenever he enlarged in size, he gained focus too. He was very much all of a sudden not taking this thing for granted, especially after it spat acid on him. He's like, okay, this little thing's gonna try to stay in distance and spit. No. So as it swoops in, he hits it, kind of twirling it. So whenever it tries to attack him, it just totally misses and it's actually kind of headed toward the ground. And as it's, crash landing almost, he turns around and swings the maul one more time and just totally hides the thing from view with the smash of the maul, leaving pieces on the ground.
Nice. The thing lies there dead. The crowd immediately starts cheering. Roll for me immediate profession gladiator check, please.
Boom.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a really good one. You keep the sway of the crowd completely on your side. You're actually going to be maintaining that +2 bonus to morale. But more than that,
can I like describe how I keep the morale up?
Please, take it away.
So, upon finishing the bird, Mortifer looks up at the crowd, looks down at the remnants of the bird, and grabs its skull and holds it up for them all to see, and just crushes its head in his hand and throws it aside into the pit, the crack in the earth, just where the spider went.
Gorgeous. The thing is, the crowd is just cheer Mortifer, but they're cheering you so loudly. There's such a mess with just like bone and feathers and everything everywhere. They're cheering so loudly that when the door opens back up on the other side, the booming, like I said, it's palpable. It's literally a physical force of people cheering your name that comes rushing through that door and smashes the face of those on the other side. Not only do you get the +2 on your morale checks, but the people's coming through are actually getting a -2 on their checks because of it. So what you see is as the door opens up, walking out like together but fairly tentatively is actually going to be a group of 4 dwarves moving out. Now, you know that fighting dwarves, especially 4 of them at once, is meant to be a fuck you. You know that this is one of those things where, again, you're on the 500 for 1 trek right here. That if you're able to kill 500 people, and each of these 4 will count as 1, that bird did not, that was the warm-up, that's 4 more bodies that you get to stack up towards your rank. But dwarves are quick. Dwarves know how to move out of the way. In case you didn't know this, Wade, and for the viewers that don't know Pathfinder, dwarves are really good against giants. So the 4 dwarves move out a bit tentative, scared, like looking around at the audience that's just cheering you on. Mortifer, Mortifer.
Can I use Vigor to give myself temporary hit points again, being as those were worn off?
Absolutely, while they're kind of like making their way and filtering their way in.
Yeah,
how many points do you want to spend on that?
How many do I have? I don't remember these numbers.
Yep, that's actually
7 per day. Is that right?
On your mini, you actually have, it says right there 9, and you spent 1, so we can change that to an 8. The maximum that you can spend, even though you're level 3, because of like how your character is built, you can actually spend 4 right now to give you 20 extra health points.
I'm gonna use 4, and I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna set this. You can actually see this on your character sheet right now. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. You're now gonna have 20 out of 20 for your that stuff there, and because you're spending 4, that brings you down to 4 out of 9 of your.
Okay.
See how that all worked out for you?
Yep.
Cool. So as those dwarves come out, they're moving around tentatively, trying to figure out how it is that they're gonna try to survive this against you, and start setting up their phalanx positions, trying to prepare themselves to go and fight you. You know that if these dwarves are able to flank you, that it's going to be devastating against you. All right, so let's make these rolls. 1d4 plus 1 times 4. These rolls are garbage. None of them acts before you. So as they kind of filter themselves out, and once again, as the combat, you can kind of feel when it is that people are supposed to act. When you kind of get that signal, that feeling, the audience is waiting for it. You're a professional gladiator at this point. The audience is waiting for more bloodshed. All of a sudden, it's time to act. They're standing only about 20 feet away from you. Again, phalanx together, kind of. So one of them standing a bit further back than the other 3, and they're almost like a V formation, trying to set up so you go and attack them so they can wrap themselves around you. Spread out in a way that's designed against a normal person to make it so they can easily get around you. You're much bigger, so they're spread out a bit more, but still not as good as they should be against somebody of your size. So
are they within range where I can cleave them all?
None of them are adjacent to one another for you to be able to do an actual cleave. They have to be standing adjacent to one another.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can only hit one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I am going to. I think I'm just going to power attack. I'm not going to reckless offense just yet. I want to keep my AC high since there's 4 of them on me.
Okay.
So I'm kind of looking to see what kind of formation they're in here. So there's one that's just way closer than the others, or?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, let's move to the one that's the closest, and let's just beat the shit out of him.
Sure. So you just move up to attack him?
Yes.
Awesome. So because of the fact that I said he's 20 feet away and you're currently huge sized, that for you is literally move up 5 feet.
Yeah, it's like 2 steps.
We'll learn about free 5-foot steps at some other point in time, but you actually just literally make a 5-foot step up and you can hit this guy because you're just so fucking enormous. So you move up and you're going to attack at him. Go right ahead.
He looks down and just, puny dwarves thought they could stop Mortifer. You are welcome to try.
Are you going to reckless offense?
No, not this one.
Okay. And are you power attacking? Okay, so total of a +1. Go ahead. So you're 12. What happens is as you swing at this dwarf, the dwarf easily evades your attack. We're talking literally tumbles to the side, jumps and rolls to the side, way quicker than you'd think its stubby little legs would allow it to do. But again, dwarves just know, for some reason, they have this ability to just read the way that you're moving. It's like you're trying to catch them off guard, but they don't look at your arms, they don't look at your weapon, they don't look at your eyes. They're watching your torso, they're watching your hips, seeing the way that you're moving and shifting. And you move slow to their perception. And so they can see that attack long before it comes in. You make your attack and it's a miss. You don't really do anything else at your turn, do you? You technically move backwards if you want
try to intimidate them or something. I don't know if I can do that.
Swift action intimidate, you can do that once a day.
Yeah, I don't know what that will affect, what effect that will have, but I would like to try to intimidate them.
It applies the Shaken's condition.
Yeah, I would like to intimidate them so that way, even if they dodged once, they realize that one hit is going to send them packing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I just roll it as is?
Yep.
Mortifer will kill you all as he has killed hundreds before. Goodbye, puny dwarves.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So, because you got the 21, I'm going to allow the first two dwarves in front of you to be intimidated, applying even more penalties to their more or less worse chance to hit, and other abilities. It doesn't really matter at this point. Saving throws are a lot worse. Okay.
So these dwarves, think that he missed with his maul, and as he missed, he just smiled and kind of laughed, which is what intimidates them.
Yep.
Before he says that. So he's happy to have a challenge almost, happy to have someone else dodge.
Nice.
Which is horrifying.
So the dwarves are going to move up and towards you to attack you. Because of your huge range, because of your huge threat range, you're actually able to make an attack of opportunity against the first one that does so, but he does so very tentatively.
All right. So is this a regular attack or power attack?
This would be a power attack. It's because you power attacked before. You're stuck with that.
All right. So, come at me, puny dwarf. Please, by all means. I'm not going to stop you.
Awesome. It's a terrible miss. So you do a sweeping low, like you literally come in like almost like you're smacking with a hockey stick. You sweep low, and the dwarf is just running forward, but clearly is afraid. Just does a quick hop and jump over the sweeping attack, and continues to make its way forward, and is going to make the attack against you. Unfortunately, it's not going to be rolling very well.
Mortifer's okay with this.
That was the other one.
They will try to hit Mortifer. They're little sticks.
Two of them rush up and attack at you. The other two are making their way around to flank you, but haven't quite gotten into a flanking position yet. So it's now back to your turn, Mortifer. Now I'm going to remind you.
Adjacent enough? Does this count as adjacent now?
They're close enough that I would allow it to happen, but they're. I'm actually going to remind you. You actually also have, because of the boots that you wear, you actually have an ability that you could use. Though hitting them with a cleave is probably more devastating at this point. It's just less showboaty.
So I don't. The boots are something new. I haven't gotten to look at all that. So what is it?
It's literally the ability stomp. It allows a 30-foot cone to knock people prone and do a small amount of damage. So knocks them off their feet and does a small amount of damage. Again, it's not going to straight kill them, but it's showboaty. It all depends. Do you want to just wrap this up? Just kill them.
I think he's going to try to kill these two since they're close enough to be adjacent, and maybe he'll wait to stomp the other two just to show that he's playing with them after the fact. So not to give away my plan, because odds are I won't hit anything, but if I do, man, oh man, is it going to look badass.
Make your attack roll, sir.
So I'm going to reckless offense this time. I need the additional hit, apparently. So reckless offense. Yeah, I'm going to power attack again. So Mortifer kill dwarves now. And I'm cleaving. So I just do a regular attack for that? It's two attacks? Okay. Goodbye again, puny dwarf. Your time is now.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck.
Apparently, you just roll really garbage, man. I feel bad for you.
If I miss the first one, I don't get to attack the second one, right?
Correct. You have to actually hit the first one to have the cleave at work in Pathfinder.
Mortifer's getting angry.
Yeah. I keep missing stupid dwarves.
I'm so angry. All my spell wore off. I'm shrinking.
Quiet there, man.
Reverse Hulk syndrome.
Quiet there, man. I'll get you.
So one of the dwarves rushes in to attack you that was outside of the range. In doing so, it does trigger an attack of opportunity. Feel free to make your attack.
Okay, so I still have reckless offense for that.
Correct.
You will not be so lucky.
Oh, actually, that's going to hit.
Goodbye, dwarf.
Goodbye, dwarf, indeed. He has nowhere near 20. Actually, he has 1/3 that health points. So,
I'm really glad that I
happens.
rolled less damage being this size.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, 21 health points. Either way, he's almost 1/4 that. So please describe your kill if you'd like.
So Mortifer's missed these two dwarfs that were in front of him several times now. And so to the corner of his eye, he sees this other one rushing up and just casually swings his hammer to the side and just knocks the thing flying into the wall, dead immediately.
Awesome. Just hits the thing, goes flying several feet off to the side, hits one of like
his friends dodging and ducking and thought that I was too slow to hit it and got a little bit cocky. And so just out of pure anger, Mortifer has the best hit of the day, barely trying.
Like you said, it goes flying off to the sides of one of the bits of debris that are set up inside the arena, and it dies. All right, so next is going to be the other three dwarves making their attacks against you. One of them actually hits, so one of them rushes forward, makes the attack against you. You just kind of like stand there and let your leg take the hit, and you're like, I don't care, it doesn't hurt. The second one that attacks you actually does break through your defenses that you intentionally put there, and it's going to deal to you the total of, hold on, this is devastating, so much damage. Here we go. I'm so upset I don't have my macro set up. 6 points of damage, which for you does actually nothing because of your temp HP does 0 damage to you. So once again, as it thrusts forward with its spear to attack at you.
So is that 4 damage to my temp HP? So I'm down to 16 or whatever?
Technically, it's 6 damage to temp HP, yeah.
Oh, okay, damage reduction doesn't apply to temp HP.
So, that's all a big debate, actually. But anyway, so as it thrusts forward with its spear and it puts all the might it can behind it, the spear slows down to a stop before it touches your flesh, missing you by a couple of centimeters. And it continues trying to like put some more oomph behind it, but then like your movements cause it to like duck backwards and whatnot. The other one thought it had an opening from that attack, and it makes an attack that was completely off misses you. It's now going back to your turn, sir. Make your attack.
All right.
Cleave again.
Are there 3 within range to cleave now? Because they look like they're each a square apart. So I can
Cleave only for 2, but yeah.
Always only 2?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, it is only 2. All right. Not that I didn't believe you. I just wanted more. All right. 1 dwarf down. You will join him now. Reckless offense, power attack.
Okay. God damn it. You keep rolling so shitty. I feel so bad.
That's okay. One will rush up or something again. I'll hit that one.
All right.
I'll stub my toe on one and kill it, but I can't hit it with my maul.
So now they're going to make their attacks against you. Okay. There's no more attacks of opportunity happening because of this. And this is where it stands now. All right, one of them actually thrusts forward and hits you. The same one that hit you before but wasn't able to damage you actually is able to successfully critical hit against you.
Yeah, I see that.
Which is amazing. So that's actually going to be roll 2d10 plus 4. Let's see how that goes. So here we go. Ooh, 14 points of damage. So it thrusts through with the spear again, and it hits hard enough. It gets a devastating enough of a blow. What it does is it realizes the psionic barrier around you, and so it spends a moment focusing on you, finding where the weakness of that psionic barrier is, where kind of like the focal point of it's coming from, and it stabs right into that pinpoint spot, disrupts the entire field, and throws it all down. So you have no more psionic barrier from your temporary health points anymore. Awesome.
Right.
That's all their turns. It's now your turn again, Mortifer. Go right ahead.
So now I'm debating, if I stomp, can I hit all 3 of them and knock them all 3 prone?
You're going to have to move backwards first. It's going to provoke attacks for opportunity from all of them, but you will knock them all prone.
Or if I don't move, can I knock the 2 down that are in front of me?
That works.
And is that a movement or an attack?
It's an action. It's an attack. Sorry.
Okay, so I can't do that and also attack them while they're down.
Correct.
I think I'm still just going to cleave then.
Sure.
So reckless offense, power attack, cleaving the shit out of them. So
Chat's going crazy. Did you confirm that crit apparently, Scott?
Oh, that's a really good point. Holy shit, I've been playing 4th edition for way too long.
what does that mean?
That's actually really important.
Yeah, that's actually...
Sorry, I said 4th, which is garbage. I said
you meant
5th edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I confirmed it. What?
Yeah. So in D&D and Pathfinder, when you roll a natural 20, you don't necessarily automatically crit. You automatically hit, but you don't necessarily automatically crit. You have to roll again to see if you break their armor class to see if you critical.
Yeah, but
Can
then
you
I also
stop stealing my rolls, Scott.
well, funny thing, I also usually have this house rule that was suggested in one of the books at some point in time. If you roll to confirm, you roll another natty 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chance to auto kill. But if you roll a natty 1, but because I allow that for you, on the flip side, if you roll a natty 1 on that confirm roll, it actually neutralizes the attack you missed instead of hitting.
You want to roll again, Scott?
So theoretically, I did auto kill you.
Holy shit!
Theoretically,
You just did another one.
Natty 20.
That is
so, but we're not doing
it's
that.
episode introduction, episode 0
You can
introduction.
auto-kill me. It's fine,
You're not
whatever.
dying. I hate the idea of death by RNG.
Just one more. It's actually
I'm waiting.
lagging.
Yeah,
It's lagging. It still would have hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Damn. Why couldn't I roll like this with my gunnery? Never mind, different campaign.
Yeah.
All right. Wade, we already described everything to you. You're doing your cleave attack, your reckless, and all that stuff. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay. Well, Mortifer's back from the dead.
That's hilarious.
So reckless attack, power attack, cleave, die, puny dwarf.
Oh God, you roll so terribly. You can't even hit double digits on your D20 roll.
I've noticed.
You can't even
Well,
hit
you
double
just
digits.
rolled 4 20s. What do you expect there to be less
Blaze
of
it.
the dice?
Oh, this is great. I'm gonna make more attacks against you. Let's see how this plays out. Maybe you'll actually die. No, so attack, that's a hit. Attack, that's a hit.
No,
And the mess.
we're gonna whittle you down. You're gonna go unconscious and lose. Oh, that's so good.
That's so funny.
Listen, the most emergent stories come from failure.
Of course. So the first attack barely scratches you, dealing to, after your DR of 2, 1 point of damage, and the second one hits you for the total of 3 points. So you take the total of 4 points of damage off your HP. When everything's said and done, all things factored. It's now your turn again, Mortifer. Oh my God! I can't
Mortifer's
believe.
gonna break out of the arena and kill the dungeon master.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wait.
Do you want to say something as Mortifer first?
No, Mortifer has no more to say.
Your RP is killing you.
Hey, you got one.
15 points of damage. So with a sweeping blow, you smash this thing in the side of the head, snapping its neck and exploding its temporal bone, shatter it into pieces. Your swing carries through to the second one. Make your next attack roll, sir. Which is a mess, but that's fine.
But I'd like to think that all of the guts from the first one splash over it, giving it a penalty.
Well, actually, you do apply a penalty because now there's no more dwarves flanking you, so they're no longer getting bonuses. Their chance to hit is weaker now. All right, so going back up.
Both of those hit.
Did you do a reckless offense?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Time.
Awesome.
You want to get 4 more 20s out of the way here? Oh, just 9.
Yep. Sorry.
Am I dead? That might be enough.
That brings you. Oh, that's funny. You're going to be down to
-1?
No, it's 0 health points. Right? Yeah, you're going to be at 0. So this is a fun little weird spot where you're in right now, Wade. Because you're
yeah,
at
so
0
much
health
fun.
points. You're
I
actually
love being killed in bullshit waves.
So the way that it works is that when you're down to 0 health points, you have something called disable, the condition that's put on you. Now, it's going to be your turn. You can choose to move or you can choose to act. You can try to hit them, but then that could technically drop you unconscious, which would be really bad. So fun little rules are going to pop up. One, you have something called auto hypnosis, right? So Pathfinder auto hypnosis.
Yeah, I've got 2 ranks in that.
So Couple things you need to do here. This is called willpower. If you make an auto hypnosis check, DC 20, and what's your skill check in that?
An auto hypnosis?
What's your actual skill modifier?
7.
So if you roll a 13 or higher, you'll succeed. You can actually more or less ignore the disabled condition for a round. But putting that aside, you can choose to attack, or theoretically, you can spend 4 power points and give yourself 20 temporary HP again.
Okay, I'll do the auto hypnosis first.
Yep. Awesome, crushed it. You're ignoring the disabled condition for now.
Okay, and yeah, I think I'll give myself the temporary hit points. That feels like the right way to go.
Back up to 20. Awesome. So I'm going to describe this for everybody. So what auto hypnosis is, it's actually a really unique ability that exists for scions only. So auto hypnosis allows you to ignore certain horrible things that are happening to your character. One of them being the disabled condition. More or less, my body's so weak that I can't do too much. Otherwise, I'll literally faint and start bleeding out because of how much damage I've taken. It's like something that exists in the back of your mind, like a subconscious willpower. And so what you do is that subconscious willpower flares up in your awakened mind, and it pushes you forward. It actually drives your body forward to ignore the fact that you're so battered and beaten that you're about to drop. And it actually allows you to ignore this condition for a little while. You are, with 20 temporary HP, still standing there. It's now back to their turn, because doing that ability, what's it called? Help me out here. Vigor. It takes an action, I believe. I'm just looking right now. Yes, it takes your action. So now it's back to their turn, and they're going to make their attack rolls. Now, because you did not do that thing this turn, your AC is back up to full. They actually are both going to attack at you as you're kind of like standing there and you're maintaining your focus and trying to like regain your footing and everything, putting this kinetic barrier around you. You are able to focus more on your defense instead of your offense. And as the first attack comes in, you are narrowly able to smash it to the side with like an open palm. Literally, it's swinging at, it's thrusting at you with a pike. You just open palm, smack the pike to the side, makes your hand bleed a little, but you ignore it. The other one tries to attack you behind, but honestly, the blade is just too thin to get through the thick hide of a huge-sized giant's clothing. All right, it's back to your turn, Wade. You can make your attack.
They're adjacent, so I'm going to cleave them.
There you go.
I'm not going to reckless offense because I want to keep my AC up.
Oh God, I'm afraid.
And I'm going to power attack.
Everybody send them luck. 90-20.
Mortify kill now!
Woohoo!
You did it.
Beautiful. 27 fucking points of damage. Oh my God, that is more than triple his health points. Describe the kill and then make your second attack.
After focusing to regain that barrier after taking that unexpected critical hit, Mortifer is just seeing red at this point. So he turns, and he doesn't even realize this, but as he turns with a fury to face the other dwarf, he unknowingly even swings his maul with all of his might. And he sees the second one, doesn't even see the first one. So when he hits the first one, it's a surprise as it just explodes at the hit of his maul all over the arena.
And then the other one, instead of swinging that attack through to completely crush the thing, you swing the attack through and actually stop it immediately right at the side of the thing's head. You actually pull up short instead of exploding its skull with the attack or crushing its body. And instead you reach forward and you grab the dwarf, completely catching it off guard. Your arm is longer than its body's height. And you reach forward and you grab the thing with this huge hand that's about the size of its torso. And you pick the dwarf up. The dwarf is freaking out for a second, tries to thrust at you with the spear. But you just grab its hands that's holding the spear and crush it beneath the might of yours. You carry the thing over to the hole in the ground. The crowd around you is fucking cheering. Take over, Wade.
So Mortifer is actually surprised. This is like the closest, or maybe tied with the closest he's ever come to losing a fight. And I think he realizes this, but he doesn't want the crowd to know that because he loves having them on his side. So as he carries this thing over, he wants to have the look of confidence. And he's just holding this thing up and said, and I think as he looks at the crowd, he says, "You want more death! Mortifer gives you more death!" And I think he spits on the dwarf as he throws, almost dunks it into the hole as hard as he can.
Jesus Christ. What's your strength right now? 22?
Yeah.
A 22 strength slam dunk is fucking frightening sounding.
From a 23-foot, 13,000-pound giant, yeah.
And that thing just goes sailing down. There's not even a scream, not a whelp, not a cry, not anything. But as the crowd is cheering, you could almost feel the vibration of it hitting the ground down below. The crowd goes crazy. Mortimer holds up his arms and cheers them on, does his rallying call as he walks around the arena, keeping them on his side. It's no longer 287. It's now 291 lives that you've taken on the counts. As a reminder, these are 291 lives that you've taken that count since the count started. How many years passed since before you were able to start that count? After you were taken and sold into this gladiatorial arena? How many lives has Mortimer actually taken? No one can really keep track of that. Nobody knows. We're actually going to allow the camera to fade off to the crowd and everybody cheering, foaming at the mouth, bringing this on. Some of them passing out with heat exhaustion as they're waving their arms and screaming too loud, their voices growing hoarse. And we're going to take our first break, and we'll see where it comes when we come back.
Sounds good. We'll be back in a few
Mortimer's gonna stroll off and then pass out really fast.
right in the hole.
in front of me in the arena.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Hope you've been
I
enjoying.
don't think he heard you.
What?
Mike didn't hear
There was
you.
a legit complaint in chat.
Oh, what
that
was
the
it?
Epic music wasn't playing while I crushed the skulls of my
Sorry,
enemies.
I don't have it I don't have the music blasting when we're playing. I've been looking for a good soundtrack to play with Dark Sun, because the Dark Sun music from the Dark Sun games is from the early 90s, so it's all like chip tunes. But I picked Dark Souls 3 because
That's a great song.
Dark Souls 3 music, Dark Souls in general, I feel fits similarly in theme with how Dark Souls,
Fitting.
Dark
I mean,
Sun.
I got my ass kicked just as hard in Dark Souls as Mortal kind of did there. So.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, so the idea that, you know, every day you have to kill. Oh God, that's rough. That's rough. All right. So, as we pull the focus back in, the camera is actually going to pull up and focus to somewhere else in the city, but also earlier that day, shortly after the sun is starting to crest over the horizon, when the chill of the night is just barely starting to burn away. We're actually going to find our next little friend in an alleyway. In an alleyway, having made an encounter, had set up an arrangement, and a deal gone well. Has a pocket full of coin, a smile on their face, and everything is completely on the up and up. And so our character shaking hands to say goodbye. Can you describe him to us?
Sure. What you see before you is a relatively young-looking human, probably in his early 20s, whose skin is very much tanned by the sun. He's kind of got a darker tan that kind of sits on him, but in stark contrast to his dark skin, he has pitch white hair, finely combed, well taken care of, which is kind of I don't want to say out of place in this world, but a little more rare, I think, than normal. He has
It's out of place.
Huh?
It's out of place.
Yeah, not sure. He takes pride in his appearance. He also has a cloak on him that also has a hood thrown onto it to keep that beaming sun out of his face when he travels. Matches his hair. It is very white. He wears these kind of gold-trimmed circular glasses to giving him an air of intellect, and has a warm smile that those who pass by, even if they don't necessarily know him, perceive him as friendly. Very charismatic, very attractive young man. His clothing is fine. As far as colors are concerned, you think typical Dark Sun coloring, you know, dark oranges and reds and browns, but still kept very well. And around his waist, you see 3 different belts of varying degrees of tightness. On his left, he has 2 books dangling, and on his right, 1 book dangling with a dagger kept by his side just for defense. And the boots that he wears are also fine, but they're more practical than the rest of his clothing. They're more like hiking boots that are dressed up a little prettier than the rest.
So the person that's before you that sees you, and you've dealt with this person 3 times. This is the 3rd time, and every time it's gone well, and every time they always want to buy off of you a decent amount of product. They have a decent sized order, and from the first time to the second time to this time, it's always gotten larger. So the deal went well. You shake hands. Usually this is where you turn and you walk away, and they go, Jack.
He'll stop abruptly and kind of wheel around on one of his heels with a smile. Yeah.
This is a good relationship. I don't want to stab you in the face, and you don't screw me over.
That's generally how I do business.
So, I was wondering if maybe we can kind of take this to the next level.
Those are big words coming from a client. What are you speaking about specifically?
What if you were my only supplier?
Cut out those you buy from otherwise, or cut out everybody else I'm selling to?
Everybody else I'm buying from. I don't want to interfere with your business.
Appreciate it. I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea. I wouldn't necessarily mind. Feel like there's more to this deal that you're looking for. What are we looking as far as price increases, etc., etc.?
I mean, we're looking for, you know, a 10 to 15% decrease in how much that you're charging me, but of course it'll be a consistent amount that I'm buying off of you. We got to keep things flowing, right? But it does come with a little bit of a, well, I need to see your facility, where it is that you're making this stuff. I need to know that it's a secure place, and that if I'm cutting ties with others, I'm not going to be hurting myself by doing so.
I understand the concern, friend, and the need to know if you're going to go down to a lone supplier, you want to make sure that you're going to get that supply. You could be burning some bridges that you'd rather not necessarily burn if this all goes well, but I've been on my, rather, I've been a man of my word ever since we met. I've been a man of my word since we've started doing these dealings, and you're just going to have to take my word that where I do my business is as secure as it's always been, which is rather secure, seeing that you haven't found it and no one else has.
It's funny because obviously you're being super defensive because you do have a laboratory set up. It's actually conveniently inside of a tavern that you've never purchased a drink at, but you always are able to slip in without people seeming to notice you and slip out without people seeming to notice you. And even the innkeeper themselves has no idea that you have an establishment behind a false wall inside of their place. So it's one of those wonderful situations where you happen to come across something. Somebody told you a little bit of information that you were able to pry from them, and you were able to capitalize on it every time moving forward. But back to this person, he's like,
for a minute, I thought you were that person being like, here's where your shit is. And I'm like, oh no.
So, but he says that worked well before, but it's not going to work well now. I want to make deal solely with you, but I need to know that the place is secure.
I understand.
I'm willing to jump through hoops here.
I understand your concern. Again, I feel for you. I would want probably similar things, but let me put it this way. If you're not willing to abide by the idea that you will not see where my laboratory is, I'm more than happy continuing the relationship we've already established thus far.
Roll me a diplomacy check to try to convince him. Or, yeah, it's diplomacy.
Yeah, I'm not lying. I will just keep this going as it is.
I was thinking intimidate, but no, that's diplomacy.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, diplomacy. Do I have anything that can buff my diplomacy? I don't think so. All right, let's go. A 16. That's all right.
So, 16. So you're talking to him. He's like, well, I guess we're just going to have to keep things as they are then. I get it. I understand. You're being defensive. So, all right, well, watch your back out there.
You too. And I kind of flash a toothy white grin, and I'll spin back around to walk away.
Okay. All right. So you obviously walk away from the person. You do have your pocket full of coin. Where is it you want to head to next? Is there, you want to go to kind of like see if there's any other clients that you might be able to hit up before, the sun fully rises? Do you want to kind of call it a day and go and sleep for a little while? Maybe you looking to let out some of that coin that you just acquired.
Yeah, what I'll end up doing is I don't necessarily need to meet up with another client, and I'm not stupid enough to head right back to where I start doing drugs with somebody asking about where I start making my shit. So, a tavern that I don't frequent regularly, or a tavern that's not where I'm holding up, and just keeping my ears open for potential bargaining tools, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you're going to go sit inside of a tavern, order, again, like a drink, because obviously you're not too stupid to just get drunk, at least not right now, where, as you were just describing, your alarms are a little bit high.
Yep.
So you sit there, you order a drink, and just trying to like take in the surrounding around you, just try to look for whatever. So can you roll me actually a not an insight, what's it called? Sense motive check for the room.
Sure. Another 16, which is actually way higher base roll on that one.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're looking around, kind of getting an eye for the room and feeling things out. And you notice that there are others that seem to have their attention on you, but this isn't out of the ordinary in Rom. This place is so orderly. This place actually has like a lot of rule of law, and people follow that rule of law pretty well, because to not do so brings such punishment that from the why is the name skipping my brain? From the Templars, that you wouldn't want to break those laws. So people are always suspicious as those around them. The fact that you sat there alone and you're drinking a single drink slowly, it attracts attention. Nothing crazy. Time passes. You don't really notice anything of note or value. No potential more clients. Do you then try to like maybe do so again in a different establishment, or?
Yeah. I mean, I'll keep moving.
Carousing?
Yeah, I'll keep carousing. I'll keep an eye out, make sure I'm not being followed from place to place.
Sure, of course. Absolutely. So why don't you do me a favor, because your concern is whether or not you're being followed. Roll me a perception check and a sense motive check for like keeping an eye on the crowd.
Well,
or
there's your
ooh,
beautiful roll. And then a sense motive afterward. Nice.
Okay. You don't sense that anybody in particular is following you. Nobody's putting more attention on you than the otherwise would have been. You don't feel like that's the case at all. However, when you finally do decide to head back to your establishment, you finally do hours later bring your way there. As you're walking into the inn, as you're actually starting to step foot into the tavern, that's the one that you know is your home. When you step foot in there, you notice out of the corner of your eye, and you know that you saw this out of the corner of your eye, the person you dealt with hours ago is definitely in the crowd watching you. Is definitely off to the crowd. Roll me a stealth check really quickly to see if he notices that you notice.
Stealth, good lord.
Or actually, my apologies.
Oh.
I meant bluff.
Bluff.
I'm so sorry.
Much better, but but I rolled lower technically.
There you go. My apologies. So you played off like you didn't see anything, but you definitely saw them as you walked into the establishment. Your hand was already on the door.
How long have I been dealing with this guy?
3 encounters, which is a decent amount for a non-junkie. A decent amount.
Okay. All right. There's not much I can really do. If I see him in the crowd and it doesn't seem like he noticed me, I will immediately leave the vicinity and go elsewhere.
Well, so you first go into the establishment, right? But you walk into the establishment and then the plan is kind of like slip out the back door?
Just go out because I walked in the front door, right?
Correct.
Place is relatively crowded?
Correct.
Doesn't look like he saw me?
Well, he saw you go into the door.
Oh, he did see me. Okay, got you.
Yes, correct. Going into the door.
Yeah, I don't want to go into my
Of course.
my lab. He knows I'm here. Fuck it. I'll buy 2 drinks and go sit with him.
Sure. So you're just gonna grab 2 drinks, grab a table, and wait for him to walk in?
Yeah.
Nice. Love it. Awesome. So just to paint a picture, when you're walking through Rom, for everybody for anybody that comes through this place, Rom is disgustingly overcrowded. You have to understand, Rom used to be the jewel of this region of Athos. Even after all the ravage happened to the planet, even after the planet started dying, even after all became just wastelands and dunes, even after the water disappeared, the plants disappeared, so on and so forth. This was a gem. It was a jewel of society. There were mines here that produced so much metal. There were gems that could be mined from the earth around here. There was a huge rush of people that brought they came to this area. So it actually ended up being the most populated out of the city-states in the region. However, then everything went dry. Most of the wells went dry. All the money coming in went dry. So the economy kind of plummeted. And so you'd imagine, okay, well, the rulers of the city would do what they can to try to bolster the economy or try to make things push forward in such a way that their city continues to flourish, because even though they probably don't care about the individuals, they care about the success of the city that they rule, right? Wrong. Because the sorcerer queen that ruled this city cared about one thing above everything else: her own carnal pleasures. It's actually said that if you are in certain regions of the city is not small, in certain regions of the city, in the dead of night, you can hear the celebrations that happen throughout the night coming from her ivory castle. Okay, she was one that was completely into carnal pleasures, enjoyed lavish foods, enjoyed lots of drink, enjoyed the company of many individuals. So much so that she actually had erected within the region of the city that belongs to her a temple to the god that she worships, this gorgeous 4-armed man that she happens to worship by the name of Badna, had erected a temple in his name that houses nothing but the sarcophagi of her prior lovers. And within the sarcophagi, on the top of the sarcophagi, are beautifully crafted statues to each one of those lovers. So you can actually see emblazoned forevermore in stone the physique and the gorgeousness that was that person before they all seemed to die young.
A quick question before we push onward here.
Correct.
Where is the list of poisons I can make? I only see one? Is that the only one I can make?
No, you can actually make pretty much any poison that you have the means to get the ingredients for. What are you asking?
I'm asking what's at my current availability right now on my person. What do I have access to?
You have a whole bunch of stuff on your person at the moment. You have a poison to make people fall, to make people like put their guard down and become a little bit more like almost like a Spanish fly, right? To become a little more flirty with you. You have a poison that makes people really drowsy. Is a poison that could theoretically stop somebody's heart where they stand. A poison that can paralyze somebody. Is a whole bunch of poisons.
The one that makes me someone happy and more willing to chat with me. Which one?
Absolutely, you have one of those as well. A poison that just makes them a little more loose.
That's all I want. A little loose in the drink I plan on giving him.
A little less loose, sorry.
You know what I
mean. Yeah. So you go in there, you order 2 drinks, and you quickly try to pour one into his beverage.
Yeah, as long as he's not around and I'm not being like fucking. I'm not doing it obviously in front of people.
A full minute. Well, sleight of hand to see if anybody else notices.
Oh boy. Okay, sure. 19. That's good.
Okay. So unlike Wade here, Mike rolls well.
Yeah, 16 lowest. I see that.
Nope. No, he rolled a 15, but it didn't count.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've kept track.
Yeah. So you go in there, a full minute and a half, 2 minutes pass before they finally join you in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And when they join the bar, they kind of like slink in that front door and look around, trying to find out where you may have gone inside here. You full make eye contact.
Oh yeah,
I'm
smiling.
Yep. They clearly tell that they were caught. They see the smile. They know that there's no turning back at this point. There's only one option. They draw a longbow and fire at you.
I was like, oh god.
They walk across the crowded bar room and sit down at the table.
I just have the 2 glasses in front of me, not one more than the other, like towards me than the other. I'll pick up the one that I deem as mine while handing him his. Mm-hmm. And if he grabs it, I kind of just like hold it up to just like tap glasses and take a sip and put it down and just be like, what brings you to this neck of the woods?
Because you're using a poison, it's always a 1 minute offset for these abilities.
Okay. So I gotta keep him occupied for a minute, more or less.
Of course. So he's like, I want to work with you, but I need to know.
I already laid...
This is over my head.
Then maybe you should go to the ones that are above your head.
I need to accomplish this task. So you need to show me where.
How about, before I show you anything, I at least... Why is your task to find where I do my stuff? Why is this a task for you?
It is... I mean, my employer needs to know that you're a secure person, or we might have to dispatch of you.
Ah, so this is a work with me permanently or die kind of deal.
Kind of, yeah.
That's unfortunate. Well, that means, you know, I need to weigh my options a little more heavily, and... I mean, my life does mean quite a lot. I'm quite young still, and I'd have a whole life to live.
I mean, you don't have to work with us. You could just part ways, and we'll just never work with you again.
Oh, so you won't have to dispatch of me if that's how things go.
If that's what you prefer, but we really like the product that you put out.
Curious, you say you have to get this done, implicating that someone, you know, gave you this task. Why can't I speak with the one in charge, the one who's given you this task, if it's so important?
Same reason why you don't want to show me the room.
What if I show the room to the one that issues your orders?
It's not the way it goes.
I'm offering other options here.
I'm not taking them.
Are you not taking them, or is he not taking them?
I'm given instruction not to take them.
So that makes more sense. Basically, I'm gonna try and just dilly-dally until my character's confident the shit has taken effect, or at least should have taken effect.
Mm-hmm. So let me roll a check really quickly.
Yeah, what's the DC gonna be for him?
For your poisons, because we didn't specify which one it is, really high. But give me 1 second. Is it DM or GM? It's GM.
Yeah, /GM.
Yeah. I was like, wait, DM or GM? How does it work? Okay. So a full minute has definitely transpired. It's definitely passed. There's no question about that. And you can tell that clearly it had some effect, but not anywhere near as much as you had hoped. We're talking glancing at best. They say, so more or less after like a full minute and a half or so passes, because of course you can't act immediately like, oh, a minute passed.
Yeah,
you know, that's stupid. But like a full minute and a half or so passes of this kind of going back and forth, and it's getting nowhere. He says, it looks like we're gonna have to part ways.
I sigh almost like a disappointed, like I don't want this to be how it goes, but he's I kind of put both hands on the table and like, then if that's how it's gonna have to go, that's how it's gonna have to go. I'd rather not be dispatched of, so a full severing of our business ties seems to be the only option here. If I'm not willing, if you're not willing to divulge the name of the one you work for, and I can perhaps work with him directly. If need be, I can give you the coin back that you gave me, and you can give me the product back. You know what? And I kind of hold my finger up. I pull the coin that he gave me, and it's still in the sack, and I place it on the table. Consider what we did my parting gift to you for working well with you for the past few months. I appreciate all the offerings we've had on the house.
He looks at that, judges it for a few moments, and says, fair, and extends his hand to shake yours goodbye.
Is there a sense motive I'm gonna get fucking pricked with something?
Feel free to roll it.
this is my character's wheelhouse. He's afraid.
Mike, hold on. I was going to say,
Oh yeah, I can do that. That adds what, a +2?
2. Yep.
So 21.
So you'd have like been like, as you go to shake his hand, you kind of like think for a second.
Yeah.
And then you allow your mind to awaken for a few moments, and then like you really look at it, giving you a +2 to your sense motive, and then you're looking and you can tell there he has an intention to shake your hand more than just to say goodbye.
With that, I'll actually reach forward and pick up the purse of coins and place the coins into his extended hand, like a barrier between my hand and his, and just kind of like put the sack of coin into his extended hand, pull mine back, smile, and say, well, be safe out there.
When you do that and he sees that obviously you're being, cute, you know what I mean? So what he does is he actually looks at that, looks at you, sees that you're being cute. His entire demeanor changes from like being playful with you before to aggravated to now he no longer has any form of emotion like coming forward. He's just seems to be stone, like, I'm done with this. And he actually stands up straight, and as he does so, pulling a hood over his head, his entire cloak transforms to no longer being just like the dusty brown cloak that it was beforehand, the person that you'd always seen. It transforms to having the colors of the Templars.
Yeah, I knew it. Fucking undercover cop.
And as that transformation happens, the entire bar room just gets very quiet. A few people like that are on like the peripheral areas jump out windows or through doorways or hop over the bar to take cover because they do not want to be even seen anywhere near this Templar is clearly on the middle of a job. And so holding the coin, he looks down at it. He just opens up his hand and lets it kind of clink to the table, hearing the coin shift after the initial clatter and settle in place. And without saying anything at first, he starts to slowly walk his way around the table and says, I know that you've broken some laws. I'm curious exactly how many there were. And unless you try to stop him, he's going to reach forward to grab at you. He's actually reaching for your face.
I just want to be like, hey, if you're a Templar, you got to tell me. That's a... So I assume he's going to do something psionic. Do I have a resistance to that, do I not? I have an innate psionic resistance in general.
Well, it's saving throws. You don't have like a PR.
Right. But I'm assuming what he's going to do is going to cost some saving.
But Templars don't use psionics.
Oh, they
Templars
don't?
are gifted the magics by their
fuck.
sorcerer, or in this case, sorcerer.
I don't like that very much.
Mm-hmm. Nope. And some Templars are defilers too.
Great. Hang on, I need to think of how I'm going to react to this. This changes a little bit of what I thought was going to happen. I'm going to try and stay just out of his reach, and I'm going to kind of just with my hands up be like, hey, you can't force crimes on me that I didn't do.
So, do you want me to make an attack roll, or are you going to allow it? I imagine you're going to try to like avoid the.
Yeah, I just want to try and avoid it more or less. So I guess it's
Sure.
an attack roll, which he's probably going to hit because my touch AC is trash garbage.
Of course. So he reaches forward and grabs literally. So he wanted to grab your face, but obviously you weren't going to allow that. He kind of jump back. So instead, he just grabs you by the front of your clothes and kind of pulls you in some. And now you can feel the magic washing over your body, and he locks eyes with you as you can feel the incantation working about you. Actually looking around the room, kind of gathering the fact that magic is happening. You can see the people around you suddenly start to they all seem like a little dizzy, like they don't feel so good. One of them actually, one of the ones is probably a bit more drunk, actually keels over and immediately starts vomiting from the nausea that waves across the room. A couple of them, their skin goes from whatever color it was beforehand to a bit washed out, a bit grayed, as literally their vigor is kind of sucked from them into this incantation through this Templar into your body. And looking at you, having placed into an interrogation incantation,
Oh boy.
he looks you directly in the eyes and says, where is this room? Sorry, where is your lab? You have to make a fortitude saving throw to not answer.
My real great roll that I get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can add to that, but I don't think so.
Use a
So
light side point.
if only. 12.
Mm-hmm. So you fail. You can
course.
still choose not to answer.
I assume I take damage if I do.
You can choose not to answer.
Can I make an arcane knowledge arcana to know?
Spellcraft check. Yeah.
Oh, it's not knowledge arcana, spellcraft, which I still actually have a good roll in. 23.
Ooh. You know that an interrogation is one of those things where it batters the mind. If you choose not to answer questions, it literally breaks down your mind, breaks down your sheer willpower. In mechanical terms, you take wisdom damage.
My wisdom's already low.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Where is my lab? How can I answer that in a cute way?
Someone likes Jar Axle too much.
It's in ROM.
Yeah, that's what I honest to God was like, I was thinking to say, yeah, no, I'll say in this city.
So when you say that, again, stone face.
Yeah.
So the small wry smile that comes up on half of his face is not something because he actually thought it was cute. It was a calculated decision to put that there. He's gonna pull you in closer, so you can actually smell the rotting teeth inside in his mouth.
Just grab one of my polypurpose pansias and just be like, just for a second.
He's an undercover Templar. What do you expect?
No, that's fine.
So you can smell the rotting teeth inside his mouth as he pulls you in closer and he says, in exactly what building can I find this laboratory?
Fortitude save?
Nope. Yeah, you don't only get the one check.
Oh, yeah, so I just got to be cute.
Yep.
Ugh. Well, if he batters me down to a 0 wisdom, do I die? I can't remember. Just to turn into a lump of breathing meat.
A 1, you're a lump of breathing meat. A 0, you die.
Okay.
What was his question? Exactly what building is it in?
Exactly what building is it in? He had to get specific because I was cute with his vague question. A building you've entered before.
Is how you choose to answer it.
Yeah. I love and I looked to him after that. I'm like, I love 20 questions.
Funny thing is, there's a limit to how many questions you can ask. That was the limit.
Oh yes.
So when you say that, and the spell ends, he's going to grab you by the back of your head and then smash your face into the table in front of you. So it's like, oh, jeez. Oh, you're seeing stars. You get a nosebleed.
Yeah.
It doesn't break your nose or anything. Get a nosebleed or whatever.
Oh, fuck.
And he reaches to his side and he draws out. And oh my God, this is fucking intimidating. He draws out a steel dagger. Now, for you kids at home, on Mathas, there happens to be a metal is extremely rare, and most of it has been destroyed over the course of the eons of this planet dying. The core itself is actually dying of the planet. Metal is very, very rare. Most weapons are made out of wood or stone or bone or obsidian or another type of glass. So when you see iron or steel, that means that person is either very, very, very dangerous because they've somehow earned it and has been able to hold on to it, or they're very, very, very wealthy. So pulling out a steel dagger, or a metal dagger, I should say, because you don't know if it's iron or steel, is so significant.
Great.
So they pull out this metal dagger and places it comfortably right against your sternum.
Okay.
Oh, take it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I look to it with my eyes, and I guess I'm gonna try and bluff my fear away, basically. The shocked look of seeing it.
Sure.
And try and like hide that. I clicked it. 18.
Oh my god. You almost rolled less than a 20. You did roll less than a 20.
Okay. So you say 18?
Yeah. I do say 18. I also rolled an 18. He probably has a high sense motive.
Friend. So, funny thing about Inquisitors, sense motive is literally their shtick.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I gotta roll though.
Just gotta get lucky.
Actually, I rolled really bad. Like,
Right.
I have a really big bonus, and I rolled horribly.
I'm getting lucky. RNG's on my side for this one.
You beat me by 2. That was bad. All right.
So hiding my fear successfully, at least in my character's eyes, he doesn't seem to have noticed. I look to the dagger and I look up at him and be like, do Templars typically kill innocents?
So, roll me a spellcraft check really quickly.
Spellcraft, sure.
Yep.
Are you hiding your rolls, Scott, or is that one just didn't show up?
He's hiding them. 20,
I'm hiding them,
28.
Yeah. I should have hit them before, but I was too dumb to. So, wow. Okay, that's actually, I had the DC very high. You can tell that the next thing he says has a bit of magic behind his words.
Okay.
And what he says to you is, listen, things can end for you here and now, or maybe in just a few years. Worst case scenario, you rot for many more. I can help you with one of the first 2 options. I'll even let you choose it. But you have to work with me.
His first 2 options were get killed or confess, right?
It was more or less get killed, have a short sentence. The other option being you're going
right.
to rot in misery for a very long time.
I'll actually just keep eye contact with him and be like, and what kind of paperwork would you be under if you killed somebody who was innocent?
Okay. He nods as you sees that you're still being stubborn.
Of course.
He turns, walks over to some rando in the bar,
Oh, Jesus.
grabs the top of the head, shoves the dagger through the bottom,
All right, so he can kill whoever he
pulls the
wants.
thing
I
out,
get it.
and the person slumps to the ground dead. Many more people run and leave the bar from there.
The fact that it was not me means that you're probably more likely to keep me alive as long as you can to find out where my lab, and then I go air quotes after saying lab, is.
He walks over to you. This time, as he walks over to you, he gets once again uncomfortably close.
Yeah.
The dagger in his hand is actually hanging low because he's kind of holding it points down. And as he stands uncomfortably close, you quickly notice that his hand is hovered perfectly over your foot.
So he's just going to step on my foot and stab me in the throat?
No. The point is down, and his hand is directly over your
Oh,
foot.
he's going to torture me. Can I sleight of hand the dagger while it's pointed down?
You're trying to, like, snatch the dagger from him?
Yeah, because if he's holding it really close to me.
Pathfinder actually has rules for steal.
All right.
That's actually a thing that exists in Pathfinder. It's a CMB. However, it provokes an attack of opportunity if it's against an armed person, unless you have the improved steal feat.
I do not have an improved steal feat.
So,
I was hoping it was going to be a sleight of hand check, is what I was hoping
because
for.
we're not technically in combat, I would allow you to make a sleight of hand check to try to then make a CMB without provoking an attack of opportunity.
Man, my CMB is garbage, trash fire. I'm just not made for fighting.
No.
that's my problem. So
But you're picking one.
I am picking one, but it's because everything he's doing shows that he's not willing to go through and murder me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather frustrate him more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to try and steal the dagger. The thing is, like, I get the dagger. Well, no, so, like, the thought is to get the dagger but to not stab him with it. It's to throw it so that he has to go get it and I can run away. That's the goal here. I'm just trying to think of what options I have in this particular moment.
He's standing so close. Mortifer would love that.
Yeah, I'm going to try and snatch the dagger and see if I can hurl it as far as I can.
All right, first you're going to have to roll me that
Sleight of hand.
check.
I'm going to stop rolling well soon. Not yet, though.
Jesus Christ!
Not yet. We're not there yet.
Now make me your CMB.
All right. This is
piece
where
of shit.
this is not going to go well. That's a 14. That's not great.
against his CMD, that's actually not going to be very good.
Yeah.
So you more or less you
Just trying to knock it.
you
grab
get your
it.
hands there and you try to like knock the dagger, but he sees it last second and just tightens his grip on it. And so you hit the dagger, but unfortunately cut the back of your hand a little bit because you just kind of like hit the blade because you turn it slightly. Nothing that does damage. And once again, it's not like he's showing no emotion as it is. So now with a little bit of force, he just goes like this.
Yeah, it's gonna go to my foot.
Yeah, launches the dagger down into your foot. So
Right.
I can make an attack roll if you care.
I mean, I'll just do the damage.
Okay, so it's just gonna be something crazy.
5.
5 points of damage as the dagger launches down and into your foot.
Okay.
Ah! You know.
Yep, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
Yep.
Does
Does he pull out another dagger?
Make me a wisdom save. Oh, sorry. Oh god. 5e bleeding in. A will save.
Will save. Oh boy. There you go. That's my little roll for the day so far.
Oh boy.
He says sit with a single word that has more to it than just the meaning itself.
Magic.
And you do.
And I said, yeah.
Okay. He is now going to go over and reach into one of your pockets and pull out a whole pack of powders. And then while you're sitting there, though of course you can start doing other actions soon, while you're sitting there, he's going to open up these packets and one at a time pour them into your drink.
Now, hold on.
And just continue pouring loads of drugs
Hold on. Can I?
into one individual drink, please.
I'm just looking at my abilities. Don't I have a resistance to this shit?
For 2 in particular ones, yeah. But he just grabbed a fistful of stuff.
That's unfortunate for me.
The drink is going to start getting very sludgy.
I'm desperate. I'm looking. Wasn't there says you can't poison yourself, but I don't think that's only when applying to a weapon.
One of the ones in there, it's pretty nice actually. That one doesn't work when you ingest it. That's good news. Oh,
Yeah, that's a
bad
arcanotoxin.
one. Yeah. That's like, oh, that's a bad one. No, I'm talking about like.
As I'm
things you
looking
see-
at-
yeah. Look, that one neutralizes that one, but that one's still horrifying.
Cool.
I want to help, but I can't metagame. Plus, it probably wouldn't be a help because I don't know these things.
All right, so is he gonna not pay attention enough so I can pull the dagger out of my foot?
So, he's watching you while doing this. One of those like ha 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 ha. Occasionally he'll
yeah.
glance down to see what he's doing, but
Gotcha.
it's up to you though. If you want to try to pull the dagger out of your foot, or do you just kind of watch this happen, like thinking of your options?
I'm thinking of my options, and I'm thinking. I just literally want to cause this guy as much trouble. I don't want to give up my lab, basically. And he literally just took all of the evidence on my person, and he's dumping it into a drink. So here's my thought process. He's literally getting rid of the evidence for me. Let him dump everything in. Then once I'm convinced, once I see the last bit of the evidence get put into the drink, go for the dagger as a fake out. So he goes to stop me, and I 180 and go to knock the drink off the table.
Yeah. So kind of release everything.
Yeah.
So he grabbed one fistful from one pocket and put it in there. It wasn't like all of the stuff or whatever.
Okay. Well, I'll just knock everything off the table.
Yeah, of course. So as he puts the last one in there, he actually steps back. So it's up to you if you want to reach down for the dagger.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. I'll see what he's going to do.
Okay, sure.
I'll prepare an action. If he's going to go for me in any way, that's when I go to, like, fuck something.
You just step back and say, Jack, you're a man that likes to make his own fate. So, I'm willing to work with you. We've had good dealings.
I don't know
You've got
what...
an eas-
when he says that, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never dealt with Templars before.
You have an easy out. You can drink that. And then, as I trudge through this city, continuing to look for that laboratory, I can at least be satisfied that I got to watch you writhe slowly in pain.
Now, hold on.
Until the last bit of your life was taken from in front of me.
Who says whatever laboratory you find is mine?
Or you could choose not to take that drink, and I'll just meet you in the arena. Every day that you survive, I'll meet you there and see when you finally are willing to tell me.
Drive a hard bargain, sir. I reach for the drink, And are the rest of the drugs still there?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Can I reach forward and just dump the rest of them into the drink just to just get rid of everything?
Sure.
Does he stop me in any way?
Nope. As you were like doing that or whatever, at one point in time, because you seem to be like stalling, and he knows that you're a wily little worm. He knows that you've been bullshitting your way through this the whole time. So he lets you play whatever game you're playing for a little while, and then will save. He says, "Drink."
God damn it! Don't make me will save the drink command. I said I prepared an action. God damn it. 12.
It's a lower DC. He doesn't have people getting vomited sick from that, so you actually are able to resist him saying.
I will act as though, however, bluff check that I am like compelled to drink.
Sure.
22 bluff.
Ooh, it's really good. Okay, go ahead.
So he says drink, and you just see my gaze goes to the cup, and I just reach very like mechanically to the cup like I did when I sat down, pull the cup to me, and then just very simply go, oops, and splash it in his face. Maybe some will get in his mouth.
Make me an attack roll. Just do it as just do it as a CM. This is actually
it's an area. It's an area effect.
yeah. Blah. Hold on, give me 1 second to see how you want to do this. Roll it. You see where it says ranged? Click that, but it's an improvised weapon. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. God damn it. All right.
So it's going to be technically you're taking a -4 to that, but don't worry about it because you can't apply a modifier. Thing doesn't pop up. Wow, an 18. So you actually hit him in the face. So you actually
That's
hit
gonna
him
burn.
with it. Yeah, you actually hit him with it, and immediately when you hit him with it, he starts like screaming in pain.
I
go for it actually gets in his eyes and his nose and stuff.
I want to go for the dagger in my foot and see if I can just put it in his throat as fast as I can.
Sure.
While
So
he's
you're gonna reach down and grab the dagger and pull it out.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. I know.
Yeah, it's actually one of those things where pulling the dagger out, it kind of like takes like a little bit of, it takes some balls to do that. You know what I mean? Or,
I'm in a death or not situation. Even if I'm running, this needs to come out of my foot.
No, you're fine. I'm going to allow you to make either a fortitude or a will save to pull out.
Has to be
without
fortitude.
Spending a couple moments to be like.
Has to be fortitude.
Whatever you like.
Nope, it's gonna take a few moments.
Okay, so
Let's hope
you
he
reach
burns
down
for a while.
I got this thing. You reach down for it, and you realize what you're about to do, and you're like, come on, man, come on, just do it. And you do, and you grab the thing, you pull it up, but he's already been kind of like, now he's like moving around, and yeah, I'm going. And you can already see him starting to like slur his words, and there's like.
Oh, he's gonna get drugged out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it has all the burning and the pain and everything's kind of seeping into
You know
him.
what?
He's having an OD right now.
I'm gonna wait. I don't need to do this attack now. If he's hit with all of those drugs and my character knows what happened and like what the combination does, I'm gonna make steps towards the back door. Not ready to run, but I want to keep an eye on him. If he falls down OD'd, I'll make sure he's done. If he doesn't and he's able to like, I'll go for a quick exit where he won't be able to see me.
He does flop around for a little bit, but eventually just kind of flops around like on his feet at first, like banging into things and whatnot. But eventually does hit the ground, and as you like approach, like okay, let me just finish this. It's not just the matter of I want to make sure he's dead. It's also the satisfaction. I killed the fucking Templar.
Mostly, I just want to get just no witnesses kind of thing.
So as you're walking forward to do it, he's like eventually just lies still. As you approach,
on that, as I'm approaching, I'll use my last PowerPoint, judge again, and make sure I want to make sure he's bluffing or not. If he's on the ground. So that's going to be at a +2, so 24.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's not bluffing. But then all of a sudden he starts convulsing.
Oh,
he's
gonna
very violently. Very violently convulsing on the floor.
Do I want? You know, it sucks. I know. I've seen clients OD before. I'm not saying this out loud. It's all in my head. Do I want to watch him suffer? No. I'm just gonna. I kind of want to, but at the same time, he's also a Templar that dabbles in the arcane, and I don't need his buddies coming to heal him before he actually finishes up. So I'm gonna go and just finish as he's convulsing, just end it.
So this is actually a mercy. It's a coup de grace.
Yes.
Kind of like a.
Yep, it's a mercy kill.
Of course, and you do it easily.
Yep. At that, oh hey, new fucking metal dagger that goes into like up my bag, and I'll go over to the. Is the bartender still here?
As you kill him,
Oh god.
so
Yeah.
as you kill him, all of a sudden there's a small like glow that happens on the cloak, and you like stand back, like pulling yourself back, and you see that glow travels off of the cloak all the way to the point of the dagger,
Oh, God.
up the dagger, and onto the back of your hand.
Oh shit. Oh, I get marked for murdering a Templar.
And you realize that you have a
Would my
Templar
character
murder
know
mark.
that?
Absolutely. Well, you know what it is now that you see it. You just didn't know how you got it. Like
shit.
you thought it was like a brand somebody put on you, but it just happened magically.
I need gloves is what I need, which is fine.
Yep.
Still have a new dagger.
Yep.
Is the bartender still here?
The bar is pretty much cleaned out.
It doesn't mean that the bartender might not be still here.
You look behind the bar, there are 6 or 7 people lying on the ground behind it. They see you looking over the bar. They're kind of like looking up at you like, fuck's going on?
Doing my no, God no. Doing my best trying to appear confident while masking my complete shock and worry about the mark on my hand. I will pull out a handful of coins and just kind of like throw it on the bar for like the 6 of them. Be like, man, never thought Templars would do drugs before. Have a safe one. And just kind of head out the back door. Gonna run into my lab, grab necessary shit.
Yep.
And then destroy and just fuck everything else up and leave.
Destroy the grab some stuff, destroy the lab, and then
Yeah.
finally go running out the back door.
Yeah.
As you run out the back
Yeah,
door,
of
what you
course.
see immediately outside the back door is a whole crowd of people on either side that look really, really, really scared. And there are 2 Templars that are standing there, just watching the door. And as soon as you step out and you kind of like assess the situation, you realize more than half the people there are just pointing at you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for me. I go back into the back door.
You're going to go back into the back door. One of them says the command halt. And more or less from there, the Templar comes forward.
Scott's like,
and
you're
just-
going into the
It
arena.
hits you in the back of the head with
Yeah.
magic behind the blow and
Yeah.
knocks you the fuck out.
Yep.
So the camera fades away as, you know, from your perspective, you see yourself kind of like stumbling around for a second. And as you're hitting the grounds, you know, darkness falls before you. You're going to awaken. You still can't see yet because your eyes don't fully come to, your eyes don't fully gain their focus, but you can hear drip, 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 drip,
Got a leaky faucet.
drip. And you can smell the coagulated blood. After that drip, drip kind of persists for a little while. You eventually kind of like are able to, you know, come to. Your head is still pounding in pain. When you finally are able to kind of like sit up and take in the focus, you hear like a strange rumbling noise. Make me a perception check, Mike.
17.
You realize that rumbling noise is not like just nothing, just like, oh, maybe there's like something moving. It's the pounding of feet on a stadium.
Yeah.
It's the cheering of a crowd. Is some name being cheered in the background. And what you see as you finally like look over to that dripping, thinking, oh, I could use water or something. You look over and you see an arm kind of slopped over with wood, a wooden ceiling over your head. Arm kind of like slopped over the side, and it's the dripping of blood into a pool of blood below. Above you is a large, probably standing at about 8 foot tall mole, just dead. Its throat completely slipped open, his arm snapped backwards and whatnot as the blood drip, drip, drip continues. And with that, we will take our second break.
Sounds good. We'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, everybody, to some more Dark Sun, Hour 3 of Episode 0. Scott.
Hi.
You're up. Hey.
So, I'm so used to when you say that I guess there'd be a PC and not pay attention.
You're like, what?
All right. You come to the realization that you are clearly inside the stockades of some of the arena. You spend a couple of minutes looking around, realize if there's any way out of here, you're not going to be able to do it, at least right now. You are just beat the shit. You're tired. You're weak. There's nothing that you can do right now. After a few, we'll even say 45 minutes or so of trying to take in your surroundings and accepting where it is you are, you eventually just kind of pass out. You need the nap. You need to regain your strength. Later on, when you do come to, you see you see in the cell immediately next to you. And these cells are designed in such a way so that it goes, two immediately across from each other with bars, so you can see who's there, but you can't see who's adjacent to you. So you see in the cell immediately across from you, there happens to be a very large person. There happens to be a half giant sitting there. The half giant is battered, it's beaten, but it's waking up itself from its own rest. Wade, just as a reminder, what that means for you is I believe you heal. Let me look at your character sheet.
Yeah, I have rapid metabolism, so I naturally heal a number of hit points per day equal to the standard healing rate plus double my constitution bonus.
So let's look at that. That for you is a 2, so you actually heal 7 health points tonight. Yeah, it's actually more than
5,000% increase.
Usually you would only heal just 3. So, anyways, so you're at 8 health is where you stabilize at, more or less. You're at 8 health points. So
it's not 7, it's 8.
Yeah, my apologies. You're at 8. Because 1 and because they would have stabilized. They would have more or less made it so you weren't gonna die when you first got in, and then you were fine. So
do I recover any of my
all signing power points come back. Everything else comes back.
Cool.
So when you look across the way, you see this person there, this half giant. You're coming to yourself, or actually you may have come to a little bit ago, but when you came to this morning, something was different. See, half giants in this world have a link to. Planes don't touch this world the same way they do other D&D campaigns. There's very, very few that do here. The outer planes don't really exist here. So there's no access to the Abyss or Mount Celestia or anything like that. But half giants, for whatever reason, have this very strong connection with the axes of good or evil, of law or chaos. Every half giant that's born is actually born linked to one of these ideologies, one of these concepts. And you yourself happen to be linked to chaos. And because of that, you can have almost like a sense for when chaos is about, when just chaos in its raw, utter form is brewing, when there's supernatural amounts of it happening. When you come to resting after the huge battle that you did yesterday, 291. When you rest, get yourself back to there, you wake up and you can feel it. You can sense the chaos. It's lurking there. Something's going to happen, or has happened. Something is there. It's on the brink. The world as you know it, everything as it stands, is on the precipice of shattering. You don't know why. You don't entirely know how you know this, but you can feel it. You felt things like this before. And when you have, it's always come to pass. But this time, it's so much greater than you've ever felt before. So you come to and you kind of feel this happening. As you come to, you also have to swimming in the sea of chaos in your mind. You need to ground yourself in some way. How do you choose to ground yourself today, Wade?
I think I feel a lot of negative energy. So I think today Mortifer feels the evil of the city around him, and I think he embraces the chaotic evil that is just going on. The energy swirling around of just wanton destruction and chaos and fear and panic. And I think he feels almost strengthened or comforted by it. After knowing that he's so close to, in his mind, close to, finishing up his kills in the arena, and he killed 5 yesterday. He just has this bloodlust. 4 dwarves and a bird. Thank you.
Bird don't count.
How dare you? So he feels the evil, and I think he embraces the chaotic evil for the day.
Okay. So it's cool because you're anchored in chaos. You can choose the other aspect of yourself. So today you embrace that. As you're kind of finding the center point, as you're finding this identity for yourself and bringing yourself back to full consciousness, refocusing yourself to the world about you, finally you feel stepping out of the inner part of your mind into your body. You feel your knee hurting here, that cut in the back of your leg over there, the nasty bruise in your shoulder, where those talons dug in over here. You can feel all that around your body. It stings, it burns. You feel the damage on yourself, but also you notice something different. The cell across from you has been empty for a long time. Since you started the 500 to 1 and started being successful, you weren't just like a throwaway person. So you started actually gaining some momentum, maybe some 200 kills ago or something like that. They started not putting a person on the cell across from you, almost out of respect or whatever, because of your successes. For the first time in, again, who knows how long, because you don't count sunrises, there's somebody in that cell over there. And they're little.
This amuses Mortifer. They finally give him someone supposedly worthy, and it's a tiny little man. Granted, I think his confidence, like this is like how he wants to like portray, but inside, he's remembering the fact that those 4 dwarves almost did take him down yesterday. So he's wondering like, is there like 6 more of these guys in other cages that are all gonna be thrown at him at once again?
So, in case you didn't catch that, Mike, he actually did say that out loud.
Oh, I thought that was internal monologue. I apologize.
No.
My bad.
Wade says those words.
Does not have the highest intelligence or charisma, so whenever he thinks...
Mike doesn't either, apparently.
He says, instead of says.
He says it?
Mortifer says what he think.
See, that time wasn't in character.
So you're gonna have to hit me again then, because I know the gist of what you said, but the exact words were I was getting the idea of your inner monologue. You said that it amuses
After
you.
all this time, they put some puny little man across from Mortifer. This amuses him.
You just see kind of the puny human kind of push himself up against the wall and just kind of sit back in a defeated kind of position, and he just shakes his head. Well, at least I can entertain somebody here.
Mortifer does not understand. Speak louder, puny human.
I hope I can make you laugh.
Mortifer only laughs when he crushes skull.
I hope I never make you laugh.
Maybe Mortifer likes puny human.
I hope, for my sake, I hope so too. And I kind of like
you
cough
challenge
a little bit.
Mortifer?
No, wouldn't dare, Mortifer.
Good choice.
I try to make only good choices.
Then why are you here, puny human? You don't seem like you will last long.
And kind of like my eyes widen a little bit when you say that, and he's like, "Oh, I think I agree with you there." But he just he very lazily brings up the back of his hand that's branded, and just kind of like to show like this is why.
So do I know what that means? I don't know if Mortifer knows what that mark would be.
So funny enough, Mortifer, without giving away the cake here, had a history prior to being a gladiator, and in that history actually had some level of education of how things work in at least certain cities, namely Rom. You certainly do know what that mark means.
Okay. So that's enough. That's big enough to where I would know.
You also happen to know that, whereas, like, say, he wouldn't necessarily know that, you actually would know that, specifically in Rom, when a Templar is wearing that specific cloak. If you kill them, the mark immediately put on you. So it's actually one of those things where some people actually rip their cloak off before they kill them.
Human. You're a human character. Right?
Yes, that is correct.
Human better warrior than he implies. I didn't even use the word implies. Human better warrior than he looks.
Jack just, he kind of shakes his head. No, I just have abnormally bizarre luck.
Mortifer knows not this luck. Do you feel it in the air today, human? Today is a good day.
Well, sun rises for some, I guess.
Until they meet Mortifer.
I'm starting to realize that you're not a man to be crossed, Mortifer. I can appreciate that.
Good. Mortifer thinks you respect. That's all Mortifer asks of puny human.
Oh, I respect. I greatly respect. You're very large. You could crush me under your pinky, I'm sure.
Yes. And Mortifer would gladly crush you in the arena.
Then for both our well, it wouldn't be much of a show. Let's just put it that way. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
Mortifer hopes so too. The crowd prefers a challenge.
I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully I never go in the arena then. It'd be just a sad excuse for a show.
Ah, but human has killed one of the mighty.
He kind of killed himself.
Not a good storyteller, human.
You ain't no bear tap.
when the occasion arises, yeah, I can be in my current
Mortifer's
situation.
gotten so used to like just embellishing everything in the arena, you know, crushing skulls of things that are already dead for the cheers.
Yeah.
That when someone's like underselling, it's just counterintuitive to him. Like he's not very smart, but even he understands like you don't undersell when you're in gladiator combat.
Yeah. Nope. Jack very much makes it clear he hopes he never goes into the arena.
So, as this conversation is kind of like dwindling down to this point, and maybe even goes on just maybe a bit longer, suddenly, at some point in time, again, right after this, there's a gust of wind that rushes through this area. Now, this place is pretty sealed up to the outside. There's the things overhead, like I said, that have the bits of the arena overhead where like the bodies where it would be dragged off and kind of put, so you can like hear the arena overhead, but like through stone doors. This area is a cavern that's kind of sealed to the outside, but despite that, a large gust of wind comes whipping through here. Could both of you guys make me a perception check quickly? Mortifer, you think you hear, ever so faint, carried on the tail end of that wind, a scream of pain, almost like a death throes happening. And as this gust of wind whips through here, as this happens, all of a sudden, Mortifer, you actually look down and you see that the glowing part of your necklace, like you notice the glow dies down, and you look down and you see that not only has the glow died, because even when this happened beforehand, there was still some degree of psionic power that was on the collar to you before. That, at least for right now, has completely disabled. The collar on you has just completely disabled. As a matter of fact, as soon as that rushes through, you hear like a little commotion happening to those around you. Like, hey, what the hell is that? What's going on?
Okay. So he fully understands that they're disabled. It's not just like, you know, fluctuating. He thinks he can take it off.
Yeah. I mean, you want to give it a try? Is a carrot grab thing and pull it off?
Yeah, I think he's going to look over at the human and say, "Fortune smiles on Mortifer today, human, for it seems kill 500 will come sooner than later." And he's going to rip the necklace off.
So you grab the thing, you pull it off. Whatever psionic power is in it is not completely faded. Just whatever was holding it there. Because when you grab it, you pull it off, it actually phases through your neck. and you're holding it on the other side, unbroken. You completely expect it to shatter the crystal, but it actually is still in your hands, whole and in there and solid. But it just phased right through your neck. So you pull the thing off and you're holding it in front of you. You start to notice that other people have kind of realized this as well, and there's a bit of commotion. And you actually hear someone be like, "Hey, stop that!" And like, "Ah!" And then like there's a bit of commotion starting to pick up down the hallways as others are again coming to this realization and starting to make a bit of a ruckus.
Okay. The cage I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like something I could rip the hinges off? Do I have my weapon? I'm assuming my weapon is not on me. It's probably stored like with all the other weapons somewhere else. I'm just in a room alone.
Bending metal bars is a very difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
You think they have metal bars here?
Well,
no, they keep you here out of intimidation because like if you try to break free, they just kill you. These aren't metal bars. You can definitely break this shit.
Even better. Is my weapon in here or is it stored somewhere else?
Stored elsewhere. You do not have any weapons on you.
I've been here a long enough time to where I would know where that is, though. I think.
Oh, you know which direction to go to head straight towards where the weapons are stored. Just like you don't have your alchemical equipment on you at the moment, Jack.
Yeah.
How big is this area?
So, I mean, your cage is actually a good size for you. Like you can actually stand full height, but when you do so, the ceiling brushes the top of your hair.
It's a 12-foot ceiling. It's not a 25-foot ceiling.
Because again, you earned that. You know what I mean? So you earned this full-size cage for you. When you step out into the hallway is going to be about the same height. There are points where you have to duck or hunch or whatever, but the whole place is mole and half giants aren't uncommon. So they do have it designed to hold you here. So you will be able to walk around out there.
I'm going to burst out of this cage, and I want to start just breaking cages and freeing the gladiators. I want madness. I want chaos. I want to embrace what I felt when I awoke today.
So fun thing about breaking cages is you actually get a +2 for that because you're a half giant. And you have a really fucking huge strength. You have a 20 strength. So you have a +7 to this check. Why don't you make a strength check for me? That's by clicking the actual button that says strength, top left.
As I said, human fortune smiles on me today, and perhaps on you as well.
Awesome. So that's actually a 25. So the cage is before you, fuck whatever material it was made out of, okay? You just kind of like, you hang back for a second, like to the back of your cell, which is large square footage, but again, it's tall. And then with one step forward and a huge shoulder a huge shoulder, you shatter the cage in front of you, sending the bits and parts flying across the way. I'm not going to make you roll again. You're able to walk over to this human's cage, Jack's cage, and grab the bars and just kind of like two big heaves. One pulls at the frame around it, and the second one breaks the entire thing off of the wall and pulls it and just throw it to the side. And then as you're walking forward, are you investing time in breaking these other cages? Just kind of like the easy ones you break open, the hard ones just kind of like, eh.
So I would assume like if there's fighters I respect or whatever, or people that I think that I've seen battle, and I'm like, they would embrace this and take the time to like fight their captors. I want to go for those cages specifically. Like if they're just people that were just recently thrown in or look weak, then I don't really care to.
Absolutely. So that's actually kind of a cool thing. So as you guys are walking along, and Jack, I imagine you just...
Oh, yeah, so what you see when he rips the things completely off and hurls to the side and he goes stomping off, breaking whatever he can, you see Jack kind of meekly peek his head out, look down both ways, see where Mortifer's going, and he just kind of goes, guess security's a little lax, and then follows.
Okay.
Come, puny god killer. We make our escape today.
God killer. Shh. No such thing.
Puny god killer.
True. So yeah, continue, Scott.
So as you're making your way along, you're kind of busting open the ones of people that you like at least know their name or respect or whatever. You actually come across one particular cell. Inside this cell happens to be an elf whose stage name is Sandstorm. This is an elf that's also on the 500 to 1 trek and happens to be at 403. This person is fucking devastating. The way that they can whip around the battlefield, how quick they are, so on and so forth. It's genuinely intimidating, even to somebody like you, though of course you would never show that. Mm-hmm. However, you guys have a bit of a rivalry because when you got here, you spent a long time to gain the rights to do the 500 to 1 fight. This person was not even in the arena for a week when they got sponsored to do the 500 for 1 fight. So they've been in the arena for way years less time than you and are already further ahead than you. And at some point in time, your knuckleheadedness probably said something chaotic or evil, and it sparked a feud between the two of you. And they played fully into the hands, and it's just been this ongoing thing. So when you come across a cell and look in and you see Sandstorm in there, you have a choice.
Mortifer respects you in the field of combat, and I look forward to our battle one day, but that is not today. We shall meet elsewhere and fight to the death, and Mortifer will gloriously crush your skull, elf. And with that, he's going to rip open the cage and free the elf too.
Awesome. And then just because I want to see how impressive this looks, you have to make me a strength check, because if you roll natty 1, it punctuates the point.
It's not a 1.
Be free, elf.
Oh, with a +2 because you're a half giant. So you actually rip the thing, and the elf watching this happen just will take a couple of slow steps forward. We'll look at the cell, look around at everything, nod appreciatively, and then very casually and carefully walk out in front of you and continue walking past the other cells, not helping a single fucking person as they move ahead. However, because of the fact that you guys are kind of hanging back doing this, they are the first one to come up to a guard. And as a guard, like hey! And then, the first one comes to a guard, like the group that you are now following, as opposed to the ones going the other way or what happened beforehand. And as the guard goes to lunge at them with their weapon, the elf steps to the side, kind of like hits the hand of the guard, making them drop the sword, scoops it up as it's falling to the ground, whips around and launches it straight into the side of the person's throat. And then because you speak many languages, Jack, you actually hear the elf say in Elven 404, and then starts walking forward nice. Towards the next guard.
Jack does give an open like doesn't say anything else.
Why does human laugh?
The elf told a great joke.
Mortifer did not hear great joke. Mortifer saw great kills. Mortifer appreciates that. He's going to keep ripping open the cage.
So you guys are going to make your way forward, ripping over these cages. These people are going to run, some ahead, some behind. Eventually, you're going to make your way over to where it is that and again, there's chaos with guards fighting back, sometimes killing gladiators, sometimes actually winning the fight. But again, you'll walk into one area where the guards have actually prepared for things like this. And they actually have a whole station set up to stop the prisoners from able to break free. And so lots of the gladiators have actually been killed just trying to break through this one room where the defenses are set up. But as you guys come walking in, Mortifer kind of like looks around and is able to pick up like a boulder and just hurl it, not very giant, like pick a boulder and throw it over there. A bunch of the others that you had just released rush forward. Jack kind of hangs back. And you're able to, it takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of work to finally do so, but you're able to punctuate and pierce your way through this room. Every once in a while, a guard dies and somebody picks up a weapon, and so on and so forth. Jack, stepping over the guards, stops to maybe, there's a coin.
Yep, exactly. And I was going to say, may I please do quick little, like, checks while I walk by the corpses?
Have you taken off your collar? Has Mortifer noticed if he's still...
Did I have a collar?
Actually, no.
Yeah, because I don't have... Wait, do I have a collar?
No.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I have a collar.
Yeah, you don't even have a collar.
I don't have the ability to go like you do.
I want to make my way basically to get my maul.
Mm-hmm. And you guys continue making your way to more or less where the weapons and stuff like that are. Now, usually the area where all of the equipment for the combat is set up like, oh, there's a wall of this kind of weapon here, a wall of that kind of weapon there, but they're just kind of like put up on pegs. They're not put in a specific way. It's just, big blunt weapons here, small blunt weapons here, but it's like they're just kind of randomly distributed up there. It's not too organized, just makes it a little bit more streamlined as people are trying to like test out which weapons they want to use for the fight. But for a handful of people that some of the guards have grown like an affinity for, they actually will set up like in a certain area of one wall where your stuff is. So it's actually there's one spot on one wall that you can actually walk over there, and your maul is sitting there. Your boots are right there, and so on and so forth. And so you go over, and as you're walking up to that thing, between you and that wall, there's a guard who's fighting for his life. Happens to be the guard that set this wall up for you. So it's between him and a gladiator, and it's a pretty equal match, and one of them is not going to survive. As you approach this this little encounter there, Wade, what does Mortifer do?
Man, normally Mortifer is very respectful of people. I don't know. He respects combat, so he wants to let them have a fair fight. But he's feeling chaotically evil today, and I think he understands the urgency of getting his weapon and getting out. So I think he's going to try to just smack them both out of the way so they can continue fighting, but they're out of his way, and let him get to his stuff.
Sure. This kind of worked like a bull rush, more or less, because you're so big. Could you do me? Well, actually, that would be factored in. Roll me a CMB. You should see that around where like your AC and attacks and stuff like that are.
All right.
Okay. So you go up to them. So it's not this grandiose one smack that hits to the side. More or less, you're over there, and you just kind of like walk up and do like a two-handed shove to like push them off to the side, and like they both kind of look at you as you're doing this, and like kind of like react at once to what you're doing. And one of them is like, oh, he's here to, oh no, he's not here to help me. But they get pushed off to the side. It's nothing grand. It's one of those, they realize that you're clearly just trying to get them out of the way. And so the guard chooses not to engage you because, you know, you're big. You can grab your boots. You can throw them on. You can grab your armor.
Can I take a moment to give myself temporary hit points?
Absolutely.
So I want to cast Vigor. I want to use 4 to get myself 20 hit points. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to grab my stuff.
Okay. And you start grabbing up your belongings and things like that. But, Jack.
Where's my shit?
You're the first time. It's the first time you walked in this room.
And I don't know where anything is.
You're like, I don't know where anything is. You see a whole bunch of weapons. Some of them big, some of them small, some of them sharp, some of them blunt. You know, some of them look really pointy.
Arm yourself, puny human.
I'll grab like
rival stuff would be. Do I know where like he might have his crap, or does he even have crap here?
I hope they have my clothing and stuff somewhere.
He doesn't see it around.
Yeah.
What would I know where his stuff would be?
I mean, yeah. Where was your stuff when you first got pulled in here?
Well, right. I mean, could I roll to see if I remember that or something?
Yeah, I would allow you to roll a knowledge local.
It's not a good chance, but I'll try here for you.
Never know. You could roll real high.
Arm yourself, puny human. Your stuff is clearly
around.
You can actually say like the requisitions office, but you don't know where that is.
As you say like that, I'm like, you see me picking up like a dagger, something that I'm used to using. I'm like, all right, good. And where would that be exactly?
So now, if those two are still fighting, Mortifer's going to go try to engage the guard and intimidate him into saying where the office is.
You get into the fight. Get out of the way. Hey, where's the office?
Not actually fight, but just to like roll his eyes and figure out where this stuff is.
Sure. So you go walking over to the guard. So the guard and the other guy. Do you like more or less end the fight for the guard? Like just like kill the gladiator?
No, I just want to come in there, drop my maul heavily next to the guard, maybe shatter a bench or something.
Intimidate check.
Intimidate.
Don't forget, you got a +4 because you're really big. Actually, I think it's already factored in, isn't it?
We'll see when he rolls.
I'm going to look right here. Hold on. It would say on here.
It says 9 + 4. Is that his normal bonus?
I don't think your +4 for being large size is on there. But so more or less, we just have to do the math in our heads. So
should
that's
I add that as a miscellaneous addition?
No, because sometimes you'll be dealing with a large size creature. So, so you're it's a 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you drop your hammer and you ask the question you do, and both of them kind of stop, realizing that maul could.
Where are puny humans' weapons?
Realizing the question's not for them, that wounded gladiator is going to kind of like slink away and join the rest of the people running off. The requisitions office. Again, these aren't Templars; these are just guards to the arena.
Point me that way.
You can escort us. We'll guarantee your safety.
Roll me.
Just gonna look over his shoulder.
Roll me a bluff check.
Sure.
It's a bluff, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course it's a bluff. 26.
Hearing you say that, realizing that clearly you're with Mortifer,
Yeah.
how comfortably you said that, and the fact that they actually appreciate who Mortifer is. They go, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Like really like excited about the idea that this is actually an option. And so this guard who's like currently bleeding out their side, and you know what I mean? Again, they're just not in good shape. Their skin is all leathery and wrinkled and whatnot from being under the sun for their entire life and everything. They gather all the strength that they have and use their spear as like a walking stick to even be able to continue moving forward. And they move with you through the tunnels as more chaos happens. Other people at points in time, because I imagine he's going to walk with Mortifer. And Jack, do you hang back a little?
Oh yeah, I'll always hang back a tiny bit. He's big. I need to give him space to fight.
At one point in time, you see, or actually it's going to happen multiple times, you see people will rush up past you and clearly see that there's a guard right there as well. And they go running at them like, oh, guard! And they go like attack the guard that's with Mortifer. What do you do?
What do I do, or what does he do?
Jack, because he sees it. You're currently walking with
Oh,
him.
they go, I shout out like, oh, watch out! Like, doing my best to give him warning and hopefully draw Mortifer's attention to the incoming attack.
To which Mortifer could sweep around and just kind of
Yeah.
like with his hammer. Like,
The way Jack would phrase it would be like, Mortifer, watch out! You're gonna be like, basically phrase it in such a way that I'm telling Mortifer he's about to be attacked, so that he's more willing to swing at them as opposed to the guard who's actually being attacked.
And Mortifer would, I think he'd buy that at this point. So,
Mortifer behind you.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, so if I need to roll an attack, I will turn around and just swing at them.
Nope, you're fine. So occasionally you'll hit them the first attack because they didn't expect that from you because you're also an escapee. And occasionally they'll miss, but you can just kind of like give them a look like he's with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's going to be a combination of intimidation and then just swinging.
Of course.
Yeah.
And to which she's going to be like, oh, yep, no, he's with you. And we'll leave it alone and go away. So he does actually bring you over to where the requisitions office is. Now, when you guys get to the requisitions office, it's actually locked and barred off. Clearly, you can tell by the axe that's stuck inside the door, made out of stone. A couple of other items that are stuck in the door. Broken bits of obsidian that are jammed inside the lock. The others have already tried to break their way in here, but have been unsuccessful thus far. But the requisitions door is in front of you, however, shut.
I looked to the guard. I was like, can you open that thing?
No, I don't have a key.
Did you say there was like a window with like bars on it somewhere?
No. The actual door to get into the room itself is shut because they use the door to open up to get to the room.
Okay, so there's no other way in other than through the door.
Yeah, the whole idea is that in case there was a breakout like this, they'd be able to lock the door so people couldn't just get like really nice shit.
I want to try just to like push it open with my strength.
Sure. Yeah, you're gonna make me a strength check, and don't forget your +2 because you're a half giant.
What
if you want to
open the door?
If you want to, you can actually technically charge the door and get an additional +2 to it. It's kind of like,
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'm gonna sit down my maul and just charge full speed into the door.
roll me a wisdom check before you do that.
Okay.
And he said it's a stone door?
I would say there was a stone axe stuck into the door. The
What
door
kind
is actually made out of
stone door too.
is made out of a hardened wood.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
okay. I rolled a really nice, great wisdom check there.
Okay, that actually I know that's low, but that's actually a high enough wisdom check for what I'm about to say. The door that you're about to charge and throw your shoulder into currently has weapons sticking out of it. Some of them being very sharp. Do you like?
Oh, okay. So instead, can I swing my maul at the door?
Yeah. Or to at least get things off of it. Sure.
Yeah.
You're automatically going to hit the door, but make me an attack roll anyways. I just said door. I meant door.
Well, if I'm not making an attack, then I'm just going to go ahead and power attack and hit it as hard as I can.
Of course.
I
Okay.
thought I automatically was going to hit it because I'm rolling as well as I did last time.
So you hit the door and you do a huge thundering boom as you like hang back and baseball swing at the door. You definitely damage the thing a little bit less than you kind of hope to do so. You definitely damage the door. You can see cracks in it and whatnot. But also all of the weapons that were stuck into it have like, because the reverberation, have fallen off of it as well.
Okay, well, if I did that much damage and didn't break it with my weapon, I don't know if I could charge through this thing.
Do you want to hit it with your maul again?
Yeah, I think I'm
Well-
going to keep hitting it with my maul.
While he swings at the maul, I just look to the guard. I'm like, do you have like a potion or something?
Mortifer thirsty
No.
too.
No. Anything on you? You know, I figure you're a guard.
What's a potion?
Fuck. Do you have a healing salve?
Oh, at the guard station, we have a couple of like ointments that we use on in case of injuries.
That would work, but how far away is that?
About 5 rooms back that way.
Let's see if Mortifer can do this first. And I'll
Sure.
hold off
21
and see
there.
what he does.
Sure. And Mortifer is going to continue slamming at this thing. Okay, Mortifer, this time you do enough damage, you can actually see very visible cracks or breaks into the door. This is when technically an item can gain the broken's condition. So you can keep going to eventually destroy it, but it is now broken technically. Mike, can you do me a favor? Can you roll me a perception check?
Okay. Not my greatest. 21. Hey.
Jesus, you roll very well this campaign so far.
Yeah, it's episode 0, so when it matters more, it'll be worse.
So obviously you're looking around to make sure things are safe, and you're also focused on Mortifer mostly to see when the door opens up to see what's going to be behind it. You also happen to notice that the guard that led you here has been taking this opportunity to, like, while your attention is on the door and his attention is definitely on the door, to kind of like slink away and like, I'm going to go elsewhere now, and like turn and try to like leave.
Oh.
You notice it.
I'm just like, hey, friend. And I like take a couple steps forward and put my hand on his shoulder. Like, not until we're through. I might need to go with you to get an extract or something.
Mortifer's gonna turn around at this and be like, "Does guard wish to run away?"
I don't know. Guard. Look to him with like a disapproving like parents.
I want to intimidate him into like not wanting to even move.
Yep.
+4.
+4. He just stands there and
I look back to Mortifer. No, he's not going anywhere.
Puny guard wet himself. And then I'm gonna hit the door again.
okay. All right, and this time the door like shatters open to the point where you can actually start. Like, if you wanted to, you can actually press your face against it, like your eye through like a crack, and try to see through it if you'd like, Mortifer. Or you can just keep swinging and break it the rest of the way. And so for one more, finally the door blasts open and pieces all over the place on the other side. And what you find on the other side is there's a Templar there. And while the Templar is standing there with 2 other guards, the 2 other guards have crossbows levied up, and they take aim and immediately take fire against you, Mortifer.
This not good. Thank God I wasn't recklessly attacking.
The thing about my character is like, without any gear on me, I am literally useless.
Oh, utterly useless.
Like I am not at all good at anything.
The first attack missed because it literally hit a chunk of flying door as it went. As it just hit a chunk of flying door, and that sent it off its course, so it didn't hit you. The second attack actually hit you and is going to deal to you 5 points of damage, which only affects your temp HP. So you actually take none, technically. 5 temp HP gone. And so as it hits you, it's like as it hits you, it's actually a glancing blow, and it shoots off and ricochets off of you at some obscure angle, some obtuse angle. And so, however, the Templar that's back there actually is kind of like looking back and forth and looks frightened for a moment, looks down at their hands, breathes heavily for a second, and then raises up their hand and reaches forward like they're expecting something to happen, but nothing does.
You wish to intimidate Mortifer with your hand? Puny human dies now. That's an intimidation. I want to intimidate them.
Roll initiative for everybody first.
Okay. I gotta click
Highlight.
on token.
Correct.
There I am. I'm not fully healed from my initial resting damage, right?
You are sorry. Oh, I'm going to leave that 5 on you because it was thematic foot damage.
Okay.
And so actually the Templar got really, really bad roll. So I'm just going to throw random minis on here just so they can be seen. I'll throw a dwarf
What happens
on
if
there.
we have a tie? I noticed that I've got the same initiative as one of the
Player
others.
usually. It depends on who's a higher dex, actually, technically.
Oh
Oh no, for the NPCs though, don't you just give it to player or no?
I like to just give it to player when it's an NPC.
Right.
So I'm just going to use these guys again for my tokens because it doesn't really matter. So he's going to have a 4, which is his garbage. One of the dwarfs is going to have a 15. It's his dwarf, but you know what I mean. Guards. So that's going to be Mortifer's first. So Mortifer, exactly what you just said.
What about the guard next to us?
What do you mean?
The one that's scared.
Is he fighting us or is he running
Oh,
away?
no. Hey, didn't roll initiative for him.
Okay.
I was going to egg him on, get in there.
Well, that if you try to egg him into combat, that'll be a different scenario, but he doesn't intend to roll initiative.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mortifer. You're actually first. Make your intimidation check.
Okay,
Oh, good.
now-
Because you want to do that, do you want to use your turn intimidating, or are you going to use your once a day swift intimidate?
I'll use my once a day swift because I want to attack them too.
Okay.
Unless they run away after I intimidate them. So. You will die now, Are they human? Or are they just... Puny guards, do not stand in Mortifer's way. How big is this area? Is this still like I couldn't enlarge without hurting myself? Kind of.
No, the ceiling is too low for you to like enlarge and still have space. And actually, the requisitions office is sized for medium-sized creatures. You would have to crouch down to hit in there to get in there.
You're very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary.
So you
My
say
voice
that.
cracks while I say, "Now you die, puny."
You say that, but the problem is they know that you're too big for the room that you're going to be going into and like you have this big swingy weapon in a room where you don't even have the space to get the momentum to swing it. It's like, well, if you had a spear, it might be scary, but come on, let's be serious. They're not intimidated by you. And you said that was your swift one, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you still have your turn.
All right, so I can't do a full swing attack.
You're going to take a -4 to your attack roll swinging into that room.
Can I like thrust my blunt weapon in there? Is that
As part of the -4?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like crouching down, making your way in there.
So I'm gonna go for one of the crossbowmen, I think. Well,
Sure.
they're in engaged range. I don't know. Can I cleave them, or is that not?
They're across the room from you. It's just a small room, so you're gonna have to like move in a little bit, and then so.
Okay,
And you
so
will
can
be
I,
able
like,
to
cleave?
cleave. Yes,
I can
you can
cleave?
definitely cleave.
Cool. So I'm gonna try
If you-
cleaving. I don't have a whole lot of health, so I'm not gonna do the reckless attack. I'm not gonna power attack. I'm just gonna regular attack them. So I'm already taking a big penalty here. So.
Mhm.
Can I get the other guard to cheer for me to give me a plus bonus here?
Hercules, Hercules.
Goodbye, puny guards who stand in Mortifer's way.
Hey, you actually rolled well.
With the penalty, what is that? Like a minus? Is it a 14? No.
Wait, what do you mean?
Didn't you say get a penalty or something?
He gets a
Yeah.
minus
So
12.
a 14, and then did you say you power attacked? No, you didn't. Obviously,
No, I did
you
not
didn't
power
press
attack.
power attack. Yeah. So with your 14, you're actually going to hit the guard because they're don't have shields up or anything like that. They just have their ranged weapons out. So it's just a 14 AC because the armor they're wearing. So
Cool.
you hit. And you do 11 points of damage to the first guard. You're actually able to thrust forward with your maul into the room that you half crawled into or half approached into, and hit the guy square in the chest, and knocks him out. Attack against the other one. Unfortunately, you missed that one, darling. So that one's
All right.
down.
I kind of imagined the way I'd have to attack to get into the room is like that anyway. So I just knock one back to kind of get into the space where I can try to cleave the next two next time.
Well, the other guard with his light crossbow is going to reload, and he's going to attack at you again.
So you get a penalty because I'm so close now?
Well, technically speaking, you're in melee range, so you're threatening. So technically speaking, yes. Even though you're not in melee range for him, you are threatening. So it's like, shit, and like grabs the thing and reloads it quickly and like gets it up and takes a fire. Actually, I think firing a crossbow in melee combat provokes an attack of opportunity, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does. I was
In
reading up on
Pathfinder, I think so.
I believe so, yeah. So you actually can, like, as he's doing that, get another attack against him.
it. Foolish move, puny guard.
Nice.
And you confirmed. Oh my god, look at that damage.
Oh, it auto rolls to confirm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's
Jeez.
_3 damage. You did 52 points of damage. Holy fuck, that's death from massive damage. Oh, Wade, please. The guy has 8 health. Describe.
So I burst into the room by holding my maul in front of me and knocking one of the crossbowmen back. I turn to see this guy panicking. And this is a day where chaos and evil are just running rampant. And I see his fear and just immediately the bloodlust in his Mortifer's eyes. And as he pushes up, he kind of like drops the maul a little bit. So it drops and the head drops down. He grabs it and uses that momentum to swing it around and just come down on top of the guy's head, just leaving whatever you want to imagine where that guard once stood.
It looks kind of like Play-Doh with a pool around it. It's like Sloth before the Elric brothers made her. You know what I mean? So,
Fortune smiles on Mortifer today. And he's gonna look at the other. Did I knock out the first one too?
Yes, you already did. Yep.
So he's gonna look at the Templar and just again smile. I don't know if I can try intimidating him again or not.
You already used your Swift Intimidate.
Okay.
For the
That's
day.
right. That's right.
So he's dead. It's actually Jack's turn. Jack, you saw the Templar as soon as the door blast open, reach forward and do something, and nothing happened. And you can also tell that there's emotion.
Worry. Yeah.
There's emotion in his face.
Good to know. If I look down at my hand, is my mark still there?
Actually, yeah.
That's unfortunate. With that like bit of hope, and I'm like, I look to the guard. I'm like, get him, Tiger, and kind of like do a nice little pat push, like get in there, go fight the Templar.
No, I can't fight a Templar.
You're not alone. You're not alone. You got Mortifer with you.
When you say you're not alone, he kind of like realizes, no, I'm not alone. Hold on.
What?
Oop, shit. Roll into initiative. So he's actually going to have 7. So
One ahead of me.
So he actually draws his sword as you say that, and he actually squares off against you because he's now got a Templar on his side. There's no way you guys are going to be able to defeat him and the Templar. And you're trying to get him to fight a Templar? What are you, fucking crazy? You want his entire family to be tortured to death because he decided to raise a sword at a Templar? No. Jack might not have a family, but he does. So,
Mortifer's looking at 294 and 295.
All right, well. Jack tentatively pulls the dagger he just grabbed, squares off slightly nervously, and goes, Mortifer, make quick work of that Templar, please.
And that's kind of like the exchange that happens between you guys.
Yeah.
It's now the Templar's turn. The Templar is once again just kind of like a little freaked out at the moment. And so like looks around for a second, looks down at his hands, and then like clearly is concentrating, thinking for a second, then composes themselves and stands up, straight backed, square faced, and looks Mortifer straight in the eyes and says, the powers that have contained you here have been released by her will. The gladiators are free to go by her will. And so, leave. You are free, and their punishment has been delivered. You have done great in the service of our sorcerer queen. I'm going to make a bluff check.
Do we make sense motives?
Yeah, I'm making myself motives.
How many bluffs do I have to like believe? Because here's my thought process. Before you even roll this, he already raised his hand at Mortifer.
Oh, don't get me wrong. You're getting a +4 to your check.
Sweet.
Oh, good.
So you're not you, Mike, because you didn't see it like full-fledged in his face. Wade, you get a +4 to your sense motive. Mike, you get your
regular sense motive. I'm not going to use my power. Hey, all right.
Mortifer. You know, hey.
+4, 9.
Hey, you know, he's you've done good in the name of the Sorcerer's Queen. You're free to go. You've done a good thing today. Good for you. You hear this. You saw kind of what happened beforehand, but you hear that fluctuation in the tone. This guy is clearly panicking right now, and you've never heard panic in a Templar before. Clearly panicking, but covering it up well enough that maybe a less keen person would believe it.
Gotcha. I'll Well, I don't know if Mortifer believes it or not yet, really.
Mortifer, what's your reaction? Because you
Yeah.
definitely believed it.
I hear what he says, and I'm very thrilled. But I think the fact, like, he was really excited to go up against the Templar, so I don't think he was intimidated by him to begin with. So, I think Mortifer is free. This is a good day for Mortifer. You are lucky to die at his hand today, Templar.
When you say that, he says, to kill a Templar is to bring the full weight of the Sorcerer Queen's ire upon yourself. You will have swarms of Templars that will destroy you in just a moment's time.
Is he wearing a cape?
He is not. No, because he's not like in pursuit. He was not, So he's not wearing a cape.
And I saw the mark.
Mortifer needs 200 more kills.
Would Mortifer actually think he's not unwise? He's dumb, but he's not unwise. To kill a Templar is
I think it's
literally
less about needing it for freedom and wanting it because he is
chaos evil. It's chaotic evil. Never mind.
You're an
Chaotic
evil. You're having an evil day.
Never mind. Yep. Never mind.
You woke
I
up on the
didn't
evil
know
side of the bed.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, Mortifer has bloodlust. I woke him up that way.
Okay.
So
So he says these things. You believe him, but don't give a fuck. What do you say anything because you didn't believe him, Jack?
Oh, I'm hearing Mortifer saying he's gonna kill him anyway. Jack doesn't need to say shit.
Okay. Mortifer, your turn. Because his turn was to bluff the shit out of you and did a really good job, but you're too dense for it to work.
I mean, I'm very happy at what he said, but I'm still gonna kill him because he's a Templar and Mortifer. I mean, he enjoys challenging combat, so he expects this. Like, he doesn't. I don't think he even understands that this guy's power doesn't work. He just thought he was going to like punch him or something. So yeah, I'm going to power attack him.
Everybody punches open palm from 20 feet away.
You will die a good death, Templar, for your glorious news today.
Oh, he's dead. You crit again. See, there's your rolls, man. You're gonna get them eventually. You've crit more than I have.
Well, 43 damage is a lot of fucking damage. Take it away.
So I imagine the guard is bluffing, and he realizes that Mortifer like takes a moment to let it sink in what he has said, and like Mortifer even like smiles like joyfully at the fact that he's now free. And then I think like the guard is so happy to hear that like Mortifer believes him that he doesn't even realize when Mortifer says like he's gonna die a glorious death this day. He's kind of like, huh? And in that moment, Mortifer just takes them all, swings it down, and crushes the Templar in the same way he crushed the crossbowman.
A lot more sturdy, but
with the squishing of the Templar in one very quick motion, Jack looks back to the guard, does a little like gesture to the guy's sword, and then like looks down, like, you can drop that. And then he kind of makes a motion like, get in the room.
Because the sword was actually a pretty decent one. It had like a hardened, it was hardened
like obsidian,
giant bone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is what it was made out of.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's normal. It's normal to use bones. Yeah. So it could have even been like a dinosaur or some shit. Who cares? So anyways, he makes his way into the room and he's like, yeah, Mortifer, here, let's find that stuff for you.
Jack actually doesn't say anything.
So Mortifer's he's just gonna walk out of the room. Like, he doesn't even consider this guard a threat, so he's gonna walk out, like, not even acknowledge the guard and say, now arm yourself, puny human. We have glorious combat today.
So as you see Jack kind of confidently walk into the room and starts meandering and looking for his things until he eventually starts finding them and starts putting on his clothing and put on his cloak, and he goes, Mortifer, you're a man of honor, it seems, right?
Mortifer appreciates combat.
Clearly. How does Mortifer see betrayal against one's own allies?
He's chaotic evil today.
That's true.
Mortifer would be happy to kill traitor.
Well, I'm not making the judgment call, but
You betray Mortifer?
No, God, no. Of course not, Mortifer. Let me finish my sentence. I know you're eager. As I'm like clasping my cloak and strapping on belts. No. Again, I'm not the one to make the call here. You're the one leading the way. You're clearly saving us, and I appreciate that. The guard pulled his sword on me and threatened to kill me while he saw the Templar there, and dropped it after he watched how quickly you smashed the Templar. His punishment's in your hands if you wish to punish him. I just don't want to hold any information back from you.
Guard was coward when he could have fought to death. This makes Mortifer sad.
What? No, look, I found your stuff. He says as he pulls the like a.
Mortifer found Mortifer's stuff, foolish guard. And with
No, not your stuff, Mortifer. This guy's stuff. The guy I don't know, Mortifer.
As he corrects like Mortifer, you see Jack reach over to the table, like, "Oh, thank you," and just like straps it.
You notice that most of your stuff is actually missing.
I figure I'm not gonna have much of my drug shit.
Yeah, you have whatever's on your character sheet.
But there's one guard over on the corner, just like, I don't know, like putting some little powder in a cup thing.
No, the guard is just yeah. So Jack very much like brings the transgression to your attention and leaves it in your court. Again, Mortifer.
Mortifer doesn't respect cowardice.
I didn't think so.
A guard must die like the rest. So Mortifer's gonna go in and attack him.
Well, he says like, I wasn't being a coward. I was fighting.
Then you will fight Mortifer.
I clasp my hood as I'm walking out of their area before Mortifer engaged. I'm like, shame. You seem like a good guy.
He actually will fall to the ground and cower and like sob. So it's actually a nice, easy kill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you were evil, you probably would have given a shit, but instead it's this is even more disgusting. You know,
Mortifer hopes somebody challenges him today.
And with that,
last question before you cut. Do I have the dagger?
What dagger?
The dagger I stole. Damn it.
No. You have the obsidian dagger that you picked up on the way over here.
I'll take it. All right.
If you want to grab the guard's sword, he had a short sword that was made out of like honed giant bone.
What did the Templar not have a dagger? This Templar didn't have a dagger on him?
Oh no! Again, not every Templar gets to have metal weapons, because that would be like a lot of metal if every Templar. Because I think this city had 3,000 Templars, or something like that. I think it's 3,000 Templars, but that'd be a lot of metal. Even if they're just daggers, that's 6,000 pounds of steel. Like that's
it's a lot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You want to go break? Is that what we're looking to do?
Yes, that was right. Yeah.
All right, we'll be back for our last hour here in a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Mortifer apologizes for boring kills.
It's hot.
And All right, everybody, welcome back. The final hour or 50 minutes or whatever it is of episode 0, Dark Sun, of myself and Wade here.
I hope everyone is enjoying the bloodlust of chaotically evil Mortifer. Soon,
Wow.
I hope to get to see some of our potion masters' potions.
Unlikely. I need some time.
No, there's a few effects that you can do. It only takes a minute to make you,
As long as I have like a flask on hand, more or less.
Oh, you have flasks and stuff like that.
Okay. I just don't have any drugs.
You have your little traveler's kit of like potion making.
But I still need time. I need did you say a minute per? Yeah. What I can
you also
actually
find poking around in this room. You find, like I said, your basic supplies.
Yeah.
That anything of value that you had was taken, like all that stuff. But poking around the room, looking about a little bit, like I said, because you guys would obviously be in the requisitions office, which is empty constantly to like send stuff out to be sold or to be used or
as people die off, more or less.
No, or just the people being like, "Oh, guess what? You were sold to us to slavery. We get to keep your equipment and make money off of it."
True, that too.
So, anyways, the reason why I bring it up is because poking around the room, like you guys obviously would do, one of the things you'd find is a few different potions.
Okay.
Which you could almost immediately identify. One is like a potion of dark whispers. 2 is potions of hidden presence.
Oh, okay. The stuff that I have on my. Okay. Gotcha.
Exactly, and you actually also find a crystal. That when Mortifer kind of like looks into it and tries to identify what it is, he realizes it's a power stone of cleanse body.
Cool.
So again, it's one of those things where you just finds the different items that you guys already purchased onto your character before.
So after then, we Mortifer just crushes the guard, kind of easily, nonchalantly. I'll actually look up and look at Mortifer. I'm like, "How you feeling?"
Mortifer is disappointed that puny guards don't put up a better fight.
Okay, more specific. Got it. How is your body feeling?
Mortifer's strong enough to fight.
Right. Okay. I get it. You're proud. Would it do you well to get a healing salve into you?
A random guard comes running up at Mortifer. Ah! Mortifer's like, "Grr."
Mortifer would take such a thing.
Then guard that door for 1 minute, and you just see me pull out like an empty flask, some water, a couple of leaves, and a like a little mortar pedestal that I carry with you. And like, just give me a minute, and I'll get something that can make you feel a little bit better. Then I just start going to town.
Mortifer's gonna stand out there and just look at, like, if anyone even looks at him cross-eyed, he wants to take a swing at him.
Within a minute, I eventually come up with a concoction that I will toss to you.
Unfortunately, the supplies that he had to use to make this concoction was based off of, like, he's like, "Okay, well, I have this over here. Oh God, this has a component that I need, but I have to like break it down first." So he goes around and like, gets the components that he needs. So it takes a couple minutes for him to do it, to break down, to get the components he needs to then make the potion that he needs to make for you to use. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, "Oh, let me get this, da 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 da." And finally, he gets this like nasty little liquid together. It's gray material. It's fucking disgusting. But he gives it to you.
Does Mortifer trust this guy enough to take the potion? I mean, he's not the smartest guy in the world. So if you say it's going to heal, he's probably going to be like, okay. He expects people to fight honorably. So yeah, I think he'll take it.
Okay. It'll. I was looking at the other page, Scott. That one.
You're fine.
Yep. And it's just it's a cure light wounds potion. So I will roll 1d8, and I.
Oh, you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to. So you drink this liquid, and it tastes even worse than what it looked like. Because again, usually he would have better materials, but it tastes even worse than what it looked like. But as you taste this thing and you allow its nasty flavor to sludge its way down your throat, it has no effect.
Does it not work?
Because you don't have the infusions class feature. So only alchemists can gain the benefit of your powers.
Oh, I would know that though. Then
you might, but I mean, how often do you make potions for maybe Mortifer? Maybe it works for some clients. You actually can make potions of healing, but that takes like a day.
Oh, all right. So these are useless.
So one of those, like, you give it a try, and then you give it to him, and it's like, oh, and then you realize, like, fuck, I forgot that would work, but it actually needs a few hours to marinate.
I think Mortifer would have the placebo effect here, where he's like, taste awful, but Mortifer's ready to fight.
Great, perfect. I quickly pack my things. I was like, excellent, Mortifer. Continue
Just believe
leading
that
me.
If it tastes that bad, it must be really good.
Please, Mortifer, lead me to freedom.
Okay. So you guys
Mortifer will lead you to glorious combat.
Great.
So as you guys are making your way down the corridors and whatnot, you're somewhat fighting, but for the most part, other people have actually already rushed ahead of you because you stopped to do this for a while. A lot of the other fighting was done. Eventually, you get to the actual exit of this place, and you realize this exit is designed specifically to be a kill box. They have, for guards, about 22 of them that are still alive, up on ledges overhead with crossbows or bow and arrows that are firing down into the doorway as people come out. And it's literally not a single person has made it, because once you actually get through this open corridor, not a corridor, sorry, this what's this thing called? Courtyard. Once you get through the courtyard, like, I got to the doorway on the other side because there's only one doorway at the far end I can go through. And then you actually get out that courtyard into the open sands beyond. The archers on the tower can just turn around and take a couple more shots at you and finish you off. So the ground out here is littered with bodies, and not a single person, it seems, has broken through their ranks. Even when Mortifor rushes up and looks about and like sees this like amazing combat, he realizes even stepping through the doorway, he's going to have 7 or 8 arrows shot at him, because there's a good handful of them that are just trained at the door waiting for the next one, while the rest of them are prepared to just shoot everybody else as they go.
Guards fight with no honor. How high up? Do you guys tell how high up they are?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
They're about 20 feet up, because structures can't be built too terribly tall. They're about 15, 20 feet up. If you were to expand, you'd probably be able to hit them. If you had a longer weapon, you'd definitely be able to hit them.
I was thinking more, could I get up, like pick up Mathas, or pick
Hang
up...
on one second.
You could, but again, like even just stepping through the doorway, you're taking a solid 7, 8 bolts.
That could do me in.
I'm curious what Mike's coming up with.
Yeah, me too.
I can protect you a little bit. So what we're seeing is a kill box of arrows, right? Arrows would be fired at us like wildly.
Correct.
Is there anything? Are there bodies I can hold as like a? Can I hold something as like a human shield, or is there like something I can hold up?
I would absolutely allow you to grab a corpse and lift it up and give yourself soft cover from it.
If I grab something and expand,
but
with me?
No, not a corpse.
What about like I don't know, something wood or something from the inside?
If it was like an item, like a piece of equipment, yeah, it expands with you, but not a corpse. That's a person.
Well, we can go back. I could find a gladiator shield, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple spells that I'm not entirely sure what they do, and I can't look up on my computer because of what's going on here.
Which spell?
Sorry, I got it right here.
1 second.
3 per. Perfect. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do.
While you're doing whatever you're doing, I want to look around and see if I can find a shield on the ground I can grab.
You know for a fact that if you you go all the way back to the area where all the equipment came from, you'll definitely find one there. But you could also like look for one of the corpses around to see, oh, somebody else has died along the way. It's carried it for me.
By before I run all the way back there.
It's like Fortnite, you know what I mean? You just live long enough to be somebody else's moving loot box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to walk out and take shots to get the shield, but if there's someone that died like around here.
Yeah, back in a little bit. So why don't you actually make me a search? Is it all perception in this?
I think it's all perception. But what I know what I'm gonna do now.
So while you're kind of thinking, he's gonna like walk like, and then he's gonna walk past you to start searching. Roll me your perception check, Mortifer, and then Mike, you can talk.
Sure. He rolled a 12.
You are going to be able to find one, but not before what's his face? Jack gets the idea.
Jack, kind of mulling and pacing quietly, looking like, how the hell are we going to get by this? He starts looking at what he has for equipment, as Mortifer is looking for clearly something on the ground. Jack doesn't know what. And as he's pulling out things like, no. Oh. Yes. Mortifer. And I scurry over to you. I'm like, drink this. And I hand it to you.
More human magic.
Before you drink it, it's not magic, first of all. Second of all, it's science. Second of all, drink it and we should be able to walk out of here, no problem. They won't see us.
Humans fight with no honor, so we leave humans without glorious combat.
They don't deserve to die with your honorable maul, as I like gesture to your weapon.
Kind of takes like a sad sigh. And then he just drinks.
Scott, I'm saying use potions of hidden presence.
I like your idea.
It says sight, smell, sound. As long as he doesn't attack, they are not conscious of his existence. That's what I was looking up. I'll read it out loud real quick.
Yeah, you prevent the targets
from having conscious
awareness of your presence.
Right.
So if you feed a potion to Mortifer would not see you.
Oh, am I misunderstanding how that goes?
Yeah, it's almost like something that you would feed to somebody as like a trick.
Oh.
Because usually when you cast the spell,
well, I still hand you a potion. It's just a different potion, and I don't say they can't see you. I say this will protect you from the arrows.
Literally.
Mortifer will take your potion and a shield.
And if you don't mind, may I take care you keep me safe?
Oh, Mortifer has a plan.
Great. I'm sure it's
basically
going to go perfectly.
His plans to get really big and jump over the wall.
Okay, cool. Oh, this will go well.
So okay. I'm gonna find my shield, whatever it is that I was looking for.
So I'm gonna eliminate my potion of protection from arrows. Since I didn't make this potion, Scott, what level is the potion?
Minimum caster level.
So 1?
If it's a first level spell, then yes. I think it's a second level spell, isn't it?
All right, I'll double check.
So that would be caster level 3. So I think that's for 3 minutes.
If it's 3, then it'll protect him from 30 damage of arrows.
Okay. Okay,
so do I need to look up any kind of stats for whatever shield I found?
Nope. A typical shield is going to give you, we'll say it's a larger shield, so it's going to give you +2 AC.
Okay, so I'm going to grab the shield. I'm going to use one of my points to enlarge. So that's my 5th point, which leaves me, I think, with 4.
Kind of like crouching down in the door. Are you going to like enlarge as you run through the doorway, or do it while you're still within the doorway?
I think I'm behind the shield. I've got Jack behind me, and we're going to start to walk out. And as I'm walking out, I'm already starting to get bigger, with the shield also growing because it's part of my equipment now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So as fast as possible, we're going to get big, and I'm going to try to, I guess, I don't know if he can, is he small enough to like stand on my back or like hug my back or something?
He's 2 size categories smaller than you.
Mm-hmm.
So
remember how we were saying, like it's more or less the difference between like 2d6 stacked up and you. So
I'm gonna get to your kneecap.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you like climb up on my back and use like me and the shield as like cover, and I'm gonna basically hold the shield up and try to climb over the wall and just leave.
Okay. So so let's re-describe this. So all of a sudden, like the guards, which are other people, the people flowing out of here have stopped, and the guards are kind of like, okay, well, a few of them are trained. Nobody else has been flowing out because either they have run out or maybe you guys have just plugged up the hole. It doesn't really matter. And a few of the guards have the crossbows trained or bows trained at the doorway, waiting for the next person to come out. They don't see anything. You see maybe a little bit of movement in there, but they don't see anybody come out yet. First thing they see is a shield reach out in front of the doorway, and that shield that's in the doorway takes a couple of tink tink tink, but it's just a shield in the doorway. And then not happy with the scenario, but trusting Mortifer because he drank a potion and he has been to his word so far. What's his face there? Jack stands between Mortifer's body and the shield itself, and the two of them start walking forward. But as they start walking forward, that shield, which feels way too small, isn't anymore. It gets larger and larger and larger, and as it gets bigger, crouching through the doorway, having to keep the shield as close to the ground as possible, the shield becomes effectively a wall between the arrows being shot and Jack. And Jack kind of looks and sees that Mortifer, who is always large, is now 23 feet tall, standing behind him as he grew, walking through the doorway. So as he's walking forward with Jack between him and the shield, eventually you grab Jack with your other hand, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like put him on my back.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've got a free hand to climb. I need to be able to climb over while holding the shield, so I at least need one hand.
Absolutely. So you kind of like have Jack like climb up like onto your arm, or maybe with a shield.
Yeah, he can like sit on my
inside of the
arm with a shield, something like that.
You kind of like grab onto it and like hold on. So like, oh shit, and they kind of like grab and there's holding on for dear life as you're huge size now, and you're walking and arrows are ting 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 ting. Some of them taking off the shield itself. It's actually really scary, Jack, because the shield actually has to move, and it's a big slow lumbering movements as the shield goes to block arrows, and you hear like the loud king as the bow and arrows are bouncing off or sticking into the wooden shield that God, Mortifer. I'm gonna have the names memorized eventually. That Mortifer is holding, and Mortifer just continues to walk forward. Some of those attacks actually break through Mortifer's defenses, shoot at him from behind, come over the side. But the arrows that would hit you just before they hit you, all of a sudden you see the arrows just break apart and as they hit your flesh is so hard they break apart and shatter on your flesh. Mortifer, I don't know if he's smart enough to realize that's because of the potion that he drank, or he just thinks that his hide is so powerful when he's this big that they just break off on him. Mortifer goes over to the wall. I need two things: an athletics check to climb over the wall from you, Mortifer.
Oh god.
Hold on.
No, I know what's coming.
And from you, Mathas, not to fall as you're clinging onto the shield while he's doing this.
Athletics? Or acrobatics, rather? Or
for you, Mortifer, you can do athletics or acrobatics, but from you, Jack, it has to be.
I don't even
athletics.
see athletics.
there is no athletics, yeah.
My
I see
apologies.
this climb.
Oh, climb for you. God damn it. Climb, because we did acrobatics instead of like 3 Point Scott actually had acrobatics long before 5th edition existed.
So what do you want me to roll?
So to climb for you,
Mortifer.
I imagine this wouldn't be very difficult because I'm taller than the wall right now.
no, it's not a hard DC for you at all. And for you, Jack, it's a God damn it, what would I use? Strength
Ride?
check, I guess.
You want me to ride? I'm just going for a ride.
You know what? A strength check or a ride. I actually will allow that.
It's gonna be a ride. All
you know
right.
what? I will, just because I'm stumped.
That's fine.
All right, so
I don't
to climb.
do well.
I don't do well.
We
either.
both don't do well.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So Mortifer, you go over to the wall and your first attempt to climb over it, which I was only going to give you a DC 10. Your first attempt to climb over it, unfortunately, is failed because it's one of those things where you go to climb over it and you actually like grab your arm onto it and you start hoisting yourself up, but then all of a sudden you actually get hit from an arrow from behind that distracts you. You like look back because finally the magic on your backside is starting to fade. You don't realize it's the magic. It's just you actually felt that one stab into you, even though it didn't deal damage. Like and you like noticed it. So like you look backwards and then like your sudden jerk back that way moves your shield in such a way that all of a sudden Jack was like, ah! And Jack actually falls off of the shield and onto the ground.
All right.
Acrobatics check for me, please, Mathas.
Yeah.
And so you had to like come back to get Jack back up.
13.
Okay. You don't take any damage from the fall
Thank
to
goodness.
the ground. So you just kind of like have to push yourself back up. What do you do, Wade?
Am I able to like scoop him back up with the shield and still try to climb over?
Yeah. You can like lower the shield back down and
Yeah, I basically want to
have to make a climb check.
Almost put the shield down for a second where he can climb on, then flip it back up, and then climb over the wall again.
Mathas, climb check for me.
I'm trying to think if this is going to be the best way to go about it, because I'm going to have to make another ride check, and even if he climbs with the wall, I'm going to go down. I could have the chance of falling and not making it with him, I'm assuming, right? So all you see when you lower your shield, you just see Jack pull out another potion, and he just says, "Just give me a few seconds," and I start fucking with it. I think Scott knows what I'm going to be doing here. I just need a full round, basically.
All right, so if he says that instead of trying to climb over, I'm going to kind of like duck behind the shield as well and like cover him and me both and try to see what he's doing.
So you're actually going to have full cover, Mike.
Okay.
So full cover, like it's a wall. There's no chance of them hitting you because of where it's positioned. So I'm just going to make that nice and easy. Because you can actually share a square because he's so big. You can actually share a square.
Yeah.
So cool. So anyways,
so he's gonna cover me for my round, I guess. And
I'm going to make some attacks against him.
All right.
So sorry, Mortifer.
Well, he's prepped for this.
Can I, if I'm doing is this, can I try to intimidate them before they attack?
Yeah, you can. I'm trying to remember in Pathfinder, there's no active defense like there is in 5e.
I don't think so. No.
No, there isn't. Go ahead, Mortifer. You're welcome to intimidate if you'd like. But oh man, it's not going to be very easy. You get a +8, but the DC is very high.
Puny soldiers hide on their walls. Mortifer can climb your walls. Come down and fight in glorious combat, or get crushed on puny walls and fall with your kingdom. And here we go. Very scary.
Yeah, pretty scary. You get a +4 for being big, right?
+8 for being huge.
Oh, so even better. So you get
27.
+8 to that.
So actually, that's really high. That's a lot better than I expected you to roll.
Me too.
So you say that, just kind of like sending that intimidation out there. They're not so stupid that they're going to actually listen to you, but your intimidation is going to cause them to take a penalty to their attack rolls. They kind of like look around at one another, or just kind of like actually literally their hands shake as they're like, do I really want to do this? But they are all going to still attack you anyways.
Okay. Do I still have much of this potion left on me?
Oh no.
How much? How tall is this wall again?
About 20 feet.
Okay,
yeah.
cool, perfect. Just
Yep.
Let me know.
Yep. No, you're fine. So hold on. So they're all going to attack at you. What's your AC normally, Wade?
18.
Okay. And then the shield makes it a 20. Okay. But then being huge size is going to bring it back down by 1 to
19, yeah.
Dave
Yeah.
in chat says you can take a full defense action and get +4 to AC.
That's right. You could have done that instead of intimidate, but you chose to intimidate. Thanks, Dave.
You told me I couldn't do that.
Is that our Dave?
Our Dave.
Ah, it is our Dave.
Yeah.
Hey. Do
You,
you want?
you told me I couldn't do that. All right.
Well, they're going to take a penalty to their attack rolls anyways.
okay.
So
I gotta beat a 19.
that's right, Dave. It's been too many years.
It's
So,
Pathfinder, yeah.
So, anyways, you are going to they're going to attack at you, and a few of them are actually going to hit you. They're going to be able to get through your defenses. But honestly, only 3. So. Oh, not the correct number of dice. And kind of awesome because you still have a DR of 2 because of your ability built in. The
I still
total.
have 15 points of temporary hit points too.
Yep.
Gotcha. So that temporary hit points then drops by 11.
Mhm.
And no, so you still have 4 temporary hit points, and you don't take any damage. So
Okay.
that happens before it's Mike's turn.
So what you see Jack doing is he pulls out one of his potions and he quickly pops the cork, smells it, nods to himself, and you see him just spit into it, grab a hunk of dirt, sprinkle some sand into it, reach forward and grab like a little pebble, pop it in there, clug it, shake it up real hard, pop the cork again. Oh God, I hope this works. You see him put it in his mouth, but you don't see him swallow. You see his cheeks get bigger as he pours liquid into his mouth, looks at the wall up and down, just goes and just sprays whatever mixture he had in his mouth all over the wall. And what you're gonna see is the stone wall. Basically, I'm using a sandstone solution, so it's gonna lower the hardness of that wall 30 feet by 30 feet, and to a point where you can basically should be able to just smash through it.
Okay. Where I should try charging through, or where I should try
Yeah,
hitting with
so I'll
small?
click on the spell so you can read it specifically.
Okay, I just didn't know whether I should make an attack on it or just try to run through it.
So I convert any potion or extract into a solution that, when thrown or applied, solidifies sand or dirt to the hardness.
What potion or extract did you use?
Hidden presence, one of the two.
Cool. Awesome. So fucking 30 feet. So more or less,
Yeah.
you just softened it to the point that it's just clay. You can walk through it.
Yeah. So you just see the stone before you as the concoction hits it, like goop up and become clay before your eyes.
Yep. It's like the weight of itself is causing it to slowly collapse.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm just gonna pick him up and I'm gonna walk through it like opposite shoulder first. That way, by the time he is pulled through, there's nothing left for him to even hit.
Sure.
He's puny. Clay might kill him. I don't know.
I mean, this much clay might land on me and die.
So you just kind of like you say, opposite shoulder first, and then
So the shield is in my left hand. I'm gonna bust through with my right arm.
Yep.
And like keep the shield covering him as we go through.
Yep, absolutely. So it's a tink, 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 and you're going to continue pulling yourself away. Now, where you guys are in the city, so where the actual arena is outside the city itself. It's trying to find the actual map. I thought I had saved it. Did I not? I can't find it at the moment. So, anyways, the name of the location is like the Natural Arena of Ram. I think it's actually what it's called. Is about 3 miles, I think, or so, or 2 miles or so outside of the city itself. So, when you guys go there and you burst your way through and you make your way down, you're running, and of course more ping arrows from behind. And we're not going to keep track of the damage because again, you do have DR or whatnot. So as that continues to happen from behind, you can even use the vigor to rebolster your temp HP. You're eventually able to go down a dune and take cover from the other side. The two of you actually breaking free from the thing. But as you look back before Mathas to see what had happened, when he burst through there to knock down the area so you guys are able to break through. Sure, you only made a 30 by 30, which is huge. A 30 by 30 weaker. When he burst through it, the whole area that they were walking on, the structure they were walking on, had its integrity completely compromised by him bursting that through. So even chunks of the wall that they were standing on collapsed behind, doing irreparable damage to the wall that they were at. You guys finally break your way into the dunes between where you actually are and Ram, and are able to find yourself in safety there. This is all happening early in the morning of that next day. My question is, when you guys actually finally break your way to safety, do you choose to spend a little time in the desert with no food and no water?
Chat corrected me. It actually is weird. What it does is hardens a 30-foot cube, but only softens a 5-foot cube.
Oh, that's fine. It's still enough. 5-foot cube is still enough that you could have burst through the top and climbed over, but it doesn't matter.
I was gonna say what I would have done then is
or
like
the door frame itself and burst through.
Yeah, basically create a weak point for him to punch through and just push through.
Yeah. That's fine. So, and you do that. Gets out, same effect either way. And thank you, chat. And so when you make your way through there, do you choose to stay out there with no food and no water or anything like that at the moment to spend some time in the desert, or do you choose to go straight for Ram?
I mean, if we spend a night in the desert, we're gonna get fucking... It's still early in the day, isn't it?
It's morning.
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole day in the desert. That's gonna be bad news bears. As much as I don't want to, I would suggest heading back to Ram where we can get at least some basic supplies.
Human didn't weaken Mortifer with potions like he did Wall.
No.
Good.
No.
Does Human need more magic from desert?
I don't... It's not... It's science, Mortifer.
Does Human need more magic science from desert?
No. I'd be more inclined to head back to the city. Because I know...
For combat.
For supplies, but I'm sure there'll be combat. I've never seen a Templar unable to cast something before, so that throws a kink of the works. I'd be curious what that city's currently
disappointing how puny he was. Puny god killer, not quite as impressive to Mortifer now.
I shrug. I'm like, told you not to be impressed. Told
All
you it
right,
was luck.
Puny god killer. Do you have a name?
Jack. And you? I say very earnestly.
Mortifer is Mortifer's name.
Good to meet you, Mortifer.
We go to the city then, to find magic science and combat.
Yep, at least one of those, I'm sure will be there.
And with that, I suppose we head to the city.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys are going to approach the city. On your way there, you do find a couple of other guards that either ran or gladiators that also were able to break their way free that didn't quite make it, and so their corpses are sprawled out in the desert, either slowly dying or already dead. Whether or not you choose to mercy kill them, I don't care. But you are able to choose to loot enough coin off of them that it equates whatever you have on your character sheets.
Yep.
There you go.
Can I
as well as
if
if you want
our way to town? Is rapid metabolism work that way? Because
Oh,
it says
no.
I can heal if I don't rest.
it needs to be still a day of passing or a night of passing time. So
Okay.
even if you don't rest, still needs to be a night. So you already did your overnight, right? So you guys make your way there, and if you wanted to grab up any more weapons there, Mike, like if you wanted to grab a sword or
Yeah, I'll grab like a short sword.
okay, the one that you got off the guard.
Yeah, I'll take the bone one.
Cool. All right, so when you guys make your way to the city is in chaos. Like, it already was a dirty, filled city. Mortifer, you haven't even been to a city in a long time. Every once in a while, the gladiators would get marched forward, and people would be able to bid on them from other arenas to try to like purchase them. You weren't purchased, or at least if you were purchased by another person that lived in the in Rom, and so you never really switched arenas. So it was the only times where once or twice a year you'd be able to see the city. But other than that, you stayed in the arena. You lived in the city there, Jack. So the city was always a bit of like chaos, but it was a controlled chaos because there's a lot of law, a lot of order here. Not right now. The city literally has fires in it at the moment.
Great.
There are corpses in the streets. More importantly, there are Templar corpses in the streets.
Great.
And not like one or two either. Like, you can find quite a few. As a matter of fact, at one point in time, as you guys are, I imagine Mortifer wants to get into fights, but Jack is like, no, not quite just yet. Let's just kind of go over here. We can lots of time to fight, but for now, let's kind of get water. You know, I'm thirsty.
Basics.
And you actually see at another point in time, there's literally 3 Templars that are very, very skilled warriors. They're not like, oh, I'm an idiot. You know, it's just Mortifer got a critical hit, right? They're very skilled warriors that are literally fighting back a crowd of people that are overtaking them. And from like where you are, and you're like, huh, you know, let's grab this water here.
Yep, more or less.
That food over there. You actually see eventually the crowd is able to overtake them. They lose plenty of their own, but they're able to overtake the Templars. And between like, you know, Ibrute kind of like stabs to them or like literally ripping them apart, because these are the wretches of society that have been lorded over by them for so long. You guys realize that the streets are such chaos, such chaos that others are also looking at you. You have things of value on you. You are also being hunted by just the raw anarchy that's in the city. Mortifer, now I know that you appreciate this anarchy and you love it, you revel in it, and you want to enjoy it. But at the same time, you also know when to fear it. You'll also know when it's too much because you're so in tune with what chaos is. So when, once again, Jack kind of gives the suggestion, perhaps we should lie low for a while, you don't disagree. And so, Jack, you eventually find your way into a building. It's literally somebody's home. It's kind of like,
I don't care.
Why don't we go in here?
Yeah, exactly.
You go in. The people in there we'll just say they're already dead. When you guys come walking in, you're like, oh, okay, this makes things easy. And you're gonna like board up and like lie low for at least a day or two to let things kind of pass. And so eventually things do pass after a couple of days before finally Jack's like, maybe I should try to find out what's going on in the city. When that happens, when you guys do try to like get a grasp of what's happening, Mortifer, do you go with, or do you try to like hang back?
No, I think I stick with him at this point.
This morning, then, when you wake up, and once again, the level of chaos in the city is palpable, but it's not like that day before, where there's the supernatural. How do you choose to wake this morning?
Neutral. I think chaotic neutral.
Okay. So this morning, as you wake up, and once again, there's a swirling chaos all around you, you choose to center yourself with an actual center. And neither good nor chaos. Neither good nor evil. You choose to choose your own path this day.
I think that one of the reasons that Mortifer was willing to lay low was because a lot of the combat that was going on was just people sneaking up on people and taking advantage of people, and there was nothing glorious about it. It was just a bunch of like infighting and stealing, and it was just not. It wasn't that enjoyable for him. It was just too easy, and I think that's why he's feeling more neutral today rather than feeling the glory of wanting to fight. Is because he saw how pathetic the fighting was.
Awesome. So you're not going to engage in that tomfoolery. So you hung back, and now you're like, oh, well, he's going out there at least for a purpose. So if someone's going to interrupt that purpose, at least there's a reason for this fight. There's glory to be found in the success of defending him, as opposed to it being just a glorious combat, right? Yeah. So you make your way to out there, and Mathas, you're able to roll to try to like find out what was going on. Does Mortifer assist in any of the chatty chat, or?
I think so. They've been laying low for a couple of days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine we've talked a bit, and Mortifer's talked about the gladiator come. I think it's probably settled on him after a couple of days that he's actually free now, and I think he doesn't really know how. Like he had this goal for years of kill this many people and I'm free, but he never really thought ahead to what freedom was. He's not a thinker, so I think he's going to try to help out, but I think he's going to let Jack lead the way. So yeah, I think I'll try to assist because I kind of need him to guide me into how to survive in the world outside the arena where people don't fight with honor and they aren't forced to, go one-on-one or whatever it may be. So yeah, I think I'll assist, but I'm not going to try to take the lead on any of this unless it's fighting.
So you want me to roll a diplomacy check?
Yeah, to try to gather some information, you can roll a diplomacy check unless you have knowledge local.
Nope, I do not.
Okay.
And there's no gather information.
I don't imagine I can assist.
Yeah, diplomacy is GI. What were you saying, Wade?
I don't think I can assist with diplomacy at all.
No, I mean,
unless it fails, I can help intimidate.
Yeah, but yeah, you're good. You can just let him do the talking, and you just be like,
yeah.
Rolled pretty bad. 12.
Okay, so you go around and you start trying to ask some questions and find out what you can. But in doing so, like you're able to find out that it seems as though the rumor is the sorcerer queen herself has fallen.
Oh shit.
She is of no more. She was actually killed by one of the people who liberated the city of Tyr 10 years ago when they killed the sorcerer king of Tyr 10 years ago. Hearing this conversation, Mortifer, realizing that it was 10 years ago when Tyr fell, you come to the realization, because you didn't even know what year it was, right? You come to the realization you've been a slave and a prisoner to the gladiator's ring for 8 years. 8 years. It was 2 years after the fall of Tyr, that Tyr's freedom happened, that you were captured. 8 years you've been there. What are years? So anyways, you realize that she has fallen. She has died. And in her death, so has fallen the Templars. The Templars don't have their magic anymore. As a matter of fact, neither do the clerics of Badna. They don't have their magics anymore either. The city is broken into factions of different people kind of vying to try to take the power. However, like when you try to find out, like who are the groups? They're like, well, the Templars are still trying to work together, and then there's other people too. Like what other people? I don't know. And you can't really find anybody or get information from anybody that is either A, willing to part with it conversationally, B, willing to part with it with any range that you're willing to pay, C, willing to part with it even with the threat of breaking their arms, or Mortifer actually breaking their arms, or D, that knows dick at all.
Okay. With that, do I know where the nearest? I gotta know where the nearest town outside of Rom is, or city.
Yeah, it is many miles across raw desert. It is.
How does one travel in Dark Sun usually then?
Mm-hmm. Never by yourself.
Right.
Usually with a caravan. Usually a what are they called? A merchant will put together a caravan,
Gotcha.
Which are very heavily armed and armored to save against the bandits and beasts and whatever else might be out in the wastes.
Gotcha.
However, looking about in the city, you realize there's probably no merchant caravans leaving anytime soon.
So we sit here and hope the chaos eventually goes down enough where we can survive. The town finds order again, or we bring order to the town, which is unlikely in our current state. Or we see if we can scoop up a couple extra folk and hit the desert.
Figure out whatever you need to do to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, you're going to lie low. You have thoughts of maybe reuniting yourself with your laboratory.
Oh, sure, that's impossible. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's on the far side of the city, and you don't know whether or not you can even make it there.
Okay.
So, with that, the two of you coming to the realization of the fall of the Sorcerer Queen and the chaos that hits Rom, the two of you head back to that home, or maybe another. It's kind of like Zomboid, right? Just kind of like keep on
house
moving.
to house.
You guys stay ahead of the horde, and
as long as there's tall ceilings.
Sometimes you just have to go in there and just like expand just a break through a second floor to make sure like I can stand in this one room.
Yes.
So and you guys have to make your way due. So
great.
thus ends the intro of Mortifer and Jack, the half giant and human unlikely companions that seem to get along very well.
Nothing like having a murder friend for your by your side when needed. So
Mortifer's okay with this.
Yep, awesome.
Good shit. That was fun. Oh,
It was
to play.
nice to stretch those wings again, huh, Mike?
Charismatic wings again. Yeah, it's been a while. The last character I played was just silent evil.
I think you getting that scar on your hand was the best thing you could have done to befriend Mortifer, because he really he respected that immediately.
Yeah, that was good. No, I'm actually really happy and impressed how quickly our characters kind of melded naturally, personality-wise. So I'm happy about that. Sweet. Shit, that's it. Okay. We'll be back next Thursday with the second episode 0 with the other 2 players. And then the 31st will be the first true episode 1 with all 4 of us and Scott at the helm as DM. So if you want to check that out, you can. If you missed it, I saw a bunch of people jump in late. If you missed it and you're a sub, VOD available instantly after this is done. If you're not, it'll be up for free on the YouTube channel within 2 or 3 days, which is youtube.com/Lost Initiative Show. If you want to talk about the show, subreddit. If you want to tweet at us, Lost in It Show. I think that's it. Is that everything?
I will say a couple of things. So the PCs that are going to be coming in next week that are going to be playing with us, one of them is going to be one of my friends, Alderant. So you'll be able to meet him officially on Lost Initiative if you don't know him from my own personal channel or his channel from before. But Ollie will be joining us as one of the PCs. And another one is actually an a longtime friend of Mathas and myself, way more Mathas than myself. But I think I was his first ever DM in D&D. Dave, you may have seen him when we did that over on my channel. Just Like Us. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Just Like Us, White Wolf campaign that Mathas had DM beforehand. So those are the other 2 PCs. We're excited to be bringing them on. It's actually nice, Mike, for us to play with one of our old friends. And our complaints for the longest time were getting you and Dave together in a party where you guys actually could like do well together.
Yeah.
The issue was always finding like a good combo, and I think we got it here.
I'm excited.
Sure. Yeah, Wade's gonna fuck everything up.
And for those who are asking in chat, just to clarify, if you are a supporter on Patreon of the $10 or $25 tier, and you've made, characters and items for the Star Wars campaign, that carries right on over to the Dark Sun campaign. There's a whole room for that as well. You'll be talking to Scott and getting those things rolled out. So feel free to check that out.
Absolutely. There are some limitations to how all of that works, of course.
Yep.
Just, use logic where that comes into place. But yeah, come make NPCs. Get up to that tier. Make some NPCs. I want to see you make an NPC like, I don't know, somebody else. Like, there were a bunch of people that Mortifer respected, right? Well, maybe they want a chance at the champ's title. You know what I'm saying? All right. So with that, Wade, how can we find you?
YouTube, I'm Lord Minion777. Twitch, I am Minion777. Tomorrow, however, Molly, who is in chat right now, Foxtrot44, has a big St. Jude charity stream. She's trying to raise, I think, at least $5,000 for St. Jude. So it'd be awesome if you guys want to support a great cause. Watch her torture herself, and me too, because she's got me playing some games that are going to rip my hair out. We'll be at twitch.tv/Foxtrot44 tomorrow from 2 p.m. until midnight Eastern Standard Time. So find us there.
Awesome.
Mike, how can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Mathas Games pretty much anywhere. Judge Mathas Games for PC comedy review stuff. Mathas Games on Twitch now, which is good. And Chilluminati Podcast for my other project. That's it.
Awesome. Wednesdays, I do 3 campaigns. First one, 9 a.m. on my channel. Second one, 2 p.m. on Ollie's channel. Third one, 9 p.m. on this channel. Thursdays, it's going to be every other week starting the 31st. We're going to be having our Lost Initiative Dark Sun game here. Fridays, 10:30 p.m. we go live. I know it's so late. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go live for our Eberron show over on my channel. Other than that, I actually just started playing Undertale for the first time last night.
Enjoy it, I hope.
Ago. Yeah. Oh my God.
People tell you how to play.
Yeah.
No. Luckily, the community is like wicked awesome, and they're like no spoilers that happen, which is great.
That's good.
Yeah.
And so it's my first time ever playing. I'm gonna continue playing it Saturday night. So I don't know. I won't lie. That game fucking has me at the edge of my seat. You know what I mean? Like, it's really fucking cool.
It's one of the very few games in the past few years that really hit my emotions They did.
It's
It's
a
a
good
great
one.
job.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. See y'all later.
See you later. Bye.
Black hole sun.